But anyways, how are y'all doing though? It's been a fairly quiet Monday over here. A little toasty, but nothing I can really super complain about. Got a case of Mondays. I mean, I like to sleep, okay? I got comfortable. I was like, I'm just gonna lay here for a little bit, and then next thing I know, I'm waking up, I'm looking at the clock, and I'm like, oh. So, you know. Okay, with the 3 months? Jesus, where are y'all coming from? Pokemon in game? I'm having cravings. I hate that. I hope they go away for you soon. Mean Queen with the gift sub. Let's go. Alright. That's a bean. That's a bean. Those are beans. I was ready this time. I had them ready. You know what? That's what? 1, 2. It's a prime, non-prime. That's 4 subs. Okay. I can count. Holy shit. We'll just grab 4 random beans and call it a day. No doubles. No doubles. I said no doubles. Queen does that. Queen absolutely 100% does that. So did y'all have a good weekend? Do anything fun? Okay, this is licorice or burnt rubber. No, this one's actually licorice. It's just, I'm pretty sure they use black licorice, which I do not like. Listen, Queen. Yeah. However, between the two, if I had to pick between having licorice and tasting burnt rubber, I'd probably pick the licorice. Weekend was nice, just short as usual. I felt that. My boss did not call me, did not message me yet, so I'm assuming I don't work tomorrow. So. Which I'm a little disappointed because I was really looking forward to playing games on Thursday. A little sad. Yeah, what is this one? Options of white dog or banana? Still, like, it's just the black licorice I don't like. I can handle most of the other licorice, but for some reason, black licorice is just no bueno. We have banana. I guess I'm finally getting some luck after I don't know how many beans I had the other day. My weekend wasn't really too bad, honestly. I had to deal with the roofers at work, which, shocker, they did not set the fire alarm off this time. which is a 1 out of 10. Because the other 9 times they've been there, they've accidentally set it off. Then we got the siding replaced on the building now. So no more, oh my god, it's raining inside. And then we got so they got that taken care of, but now I do not know if they just did a really bad color match or if they were just trying to be cheap as hell. But the building panels that they replaced, they are they're now all bright white instead of the beige of the building. If you get any more black or gray, you can send it my way. I mean, I'm not sure how well it's gonna. I'm pretty sure they have to go through customs, unless unless it was like something local to you. And then we had the test kitchen guys come because they were going to be cleaning out the concert kitchen and everything this weekend, which they showed up. And I'm not sure if it was a case of just they weren't paying attention or what, but the amount of times in the afternoon I had to let those guys back in because they kept on forgetting the visitor badge we gave them so they could get in and out of the building. It was kind of absolutely insane. Alright, so this is old bandage or pomegranate. I didn't realize anything was pomegranate came in this box. Holy shit, that's really sweet. That was pomegranate. I mean, there's still so much stuff I want to try that's like international, but it's like ads in 1:30. I'm not really worrying about the ads right now, since we haven't really gotten into the stuff yet. I'm trying to get through these beans. There's a U.S. Army base really close by. Oh my. And between toothpaste and berry blue. We are running this out with toothpaste. Okay. That should be all the beans for the moment. Until someone starts cursing me with shit. Don't worry. I'm not touching that one with the 40-foot pole. I mean, the only thing I've noticed, at least over here, where I live, is that they are, the Air Force Base is a little more active, but outside that, it's been, Okay, let's see, did I miss anything? Okay, because I've been absolutely losing my mind. I need to make sure that's actually correct. That's on the actual like overlay for the charity stuff. Which, as I said last time, I am running. I'm gonna keep doing this till the 7th. So we'll be doing charity streams until the 7th. Okay, this is correct. Cool. And then either probably, almost is probably gonna be closer to this weekend, or middle, or probably like the middle of the week. I do have some goodies from Advanced GG because they were super nice and super cool, and they gave me some gift cards that I can give away to y'all, which I'm super excited for. Oh shit, I don't mind fucking box it up. So, which they will probably be, they'll probably give away on Twitter, probably one on Discord, and then probably one on stream at some point. This is my way of saying thank you to you guys for everything. With the helping me along with the charity stuff and all that. It really means a lot to me. It really does. The airfield is fortunately a few kilometers away. How large is a kilometer again? My brain does not remember the kilometers. Hey, welcome in, Chat Mascot. It's also a few miles. Okay, that narrows it down a little bit, but that's okay. That works. A kilometer is less than a mile. Okay, but so like 2 kilometers would be larger than a mile. Yes? Look, I'm not good at math, okay? The fuck is a kilometer? It's a kilometer is 0.62. So, okay, so 2 kilometers is larger than a mile. Oh, thank you. What am I gonna do with y'all? So today though, it's mostly some reactions and stuff, and then depending on how the rest of it goes, and time, and my phone battery, possibly some games. Then tomorrow, definitely games, and preferably beating up Hanya in Halo. I did not say that. I am 100% not intentionally going to be targeting him tomorrow during Halo. No, I would never. No, don't blame that. And then, what else do we got? If I'm awake early enough on Thursday, I still want to do Space Marine, even if I don't have the day off. But that would involve me being up probably by noon, which might be a little bit of a hard sell to myself. And then we got, I think it's this Sunday that I'll be live, and I'll be playing some Halo 3 with a buddy of mine. What the? Nani? Thank you so much for the 50! You're not asleep. I mean, I generally, I work afternoons into evenings, and sometimes I get stuck working late because of my job, or I may or may not be leaving until 8 a.m. sometimes. So I kind of have a habit to be sleeping like past noon. So, okay, I need to. I gotta see what these are. I need to get into the nitty-gritty of these. Dashboard. Okay, so that one had no incentives attached. Okay. Okay, Anon. That's fine. That's fine. Alright. Y'all. Pickles or beans? I'll give you guys a minute. Pickles. Okay, got two for Team Pickles. Y'all are terrible. Hey, welcome to Reckless Dwarf. Ah, you're also Team Pickles? Okay. Alright. I'll get that. I'm gonna do that till 5:02. Or just 5:03 to be safe. Ukulele. So is a ukulele just a ukulele made of pickles? Let me get that stretch in now that we're a little bit farther into stream. See me struggle to open the jar again. I mean, look, Kanye's already accused me of having hands too small to open the goddamn pickle jar, okay? Alright, it's all pickles. Okay, so that was a $50 dono. So that's 2 pickles, and we'll round that out with. Do I have my shot glass up here so I can do pickle shots? Well, good news, it opened a lot easier the second time. The things I do for charity. Well, maybe if you were taller, the jar wouldn't be able to. I am taller than a pickle jar, sir. Y'all are terrible. Well, this one is it's like 24 fluid ounces of pickles. Like, I know my sister's dad, he really likes pickles, and he will get those like really giant jars of them. Okay, just one more pickle for charity. One more pickle. Just like the reality is, once this charity stream is done, I'm going to be giving these pickles away to him anyway, so they're not going to go to waste. At least. Oh, you're fine, Chapter. You're okay. Yeah, to be honest, Kane, I don't think y'all are gonna be able to donate that much to charity to make me eat this entire jar of pickles. Fuck, where's my water? Enough. there's enough pickles in there. I'm not giving you the exact number because then y'all are going to take it as a challenge to try and finish, to try and make sure that there's enough to clear out the jar by the time the charity stuff ends on the 7th. Honestly, I'm feeling pretty safe with how full this jar is. I'm feeling pretty safe. Yeah, I'm onto you. I'm onto you, alright. Which you have, I believe it's Minnow to thank for this, by the way. Because I would not voluntarily put pickles on the list. Yeah, I just have a very, very large hatred of pickles. So, which is the only reason I'm doing it for charity. Which, by the way, Kane, why are you on team get a chicken tender to get a chicken tendy model? I saw it. Which I'm very disappointed that Raising Cane's didn't even interact with the post. I was very disappointed. Because it would be funny. So if y'all didn't know, or you don't follow me on Twitter, you may have or may not have noticed that my Twitter profile right now is a picture of chicken tenders and barbecue sauce, which my buddies in Rain and a few others here had the bright idea that because I've been chicken tenders on Twitter for like a month now, that I should get a VTuber model that is a chicken tender. Which I find really hilarious, but at the same time, I kind of struggle with the vision of how that would even work. Like is it just like a PNG of like a bouncing chicken tender? Like I don't get the vision. Yeah, a chicken tender. Or a chicken finger. So you know the annoying orange. Unfortunately, I unfortunately know the annoying orange. That was part of my time in high school. That was on fucking YouTube. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how that works. Oh, but with anime eyes and cat ears. Then we got, what is it? Or burnt peanut. I mean, true. I can't say much on the burnt peanut because I don't know anything about him, honestly. So if even I did have an opinion, I'd mostly be just talking out my ass. But I mean, everyone has their way of doing shit. Everyone likes what they're doing. I'm not gonna be over here telling somebody, oh, you can't do this thing like that, because it's lame. It's like I don't usually get into this. I usually don't. It's like the entire thing with AI, right? Because it's everywhere. It's getting built into everything, regardless of how a lot of us feel about it. Thing is, I'm not gonna be over here sitting there and yelling at somebody, oh, you shouldn't do that, because honestly, that's a lot of time and effort that I could honestly be spending doing a lot of other shit that would probably be more productive. Like, yeah, I have my beefs with it, sure. But it's not gonna be like, I'm not gonna be swarming, I'm not gonna be like, yelling at you on fucking Twitter over it. You know? I am just on team let people enjoy things. Life is too short to be miserable. Where's the whimsy? Oh hell! Instead of complaining about AI, you just hear what that's. But you're endearing idiots though. You're fun. Because I have to say this. You try to argue with somebody on fucking Twitter, it's either gonna be some regurgitated bot that's that doesn't actually respond to what you actually said, or they're just going to fucking insult you. I prefer selective learner. Selective learner. Okay. That's a good one. Hi, good morning, Julia. Hope you're doing well today. Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, that got struck. I guess one of my mods are Or someone on Twitter has a bright idea to make you into a chicken tender VTuber. Okay, I kid you not. I was hanging out in the Rain Above Discord the other night, and there's a guy, his name's Lifty, plays a lot of Marvel Rivals and stuff. And he was talking about how ever since we were in the chat, that he only knows who the hell I am because I have a fucking chicken tender's profile picture. And we were talking, and it was like, yeah, you should just, if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna change your picture off chicken tenders, maybe you should, rather than doing chicken tenders, put a bunch of chicken sandwiches in your picture. With the model and everything. And I cannot. Marvel Rivals. Look, I don't play it. Look, I used to be an Overwatch sweat. I'm not touching Rivals. So when are we getting a chicken tender model? Oh my. I can't believe this. The fucking audacity of you guys. Are you guys telling me you actually want a chicken tender model? I have $350 in your pockets right now. Well, that's better than my savings. That's better than my checking account right now. You know what? Rather than me just asking, have a poll. So we're on the way there already. Tip. Like can I say, I like the clickety clack and mechanical keyboards. I like them a lot. Okay. Have you ever eaten spicy chicken? Yes. However, I do have my limits. It's almost ASMR worthy. Well, I mean, the only reason right now that like everything is coming through my mic is because of I can't use my old the old software I use for my mic because I needed my because it ran off NVIDIA shit, and I'm now on an AMD card, so I still haven't entirely gotten that sorted out yet. Just tell it to stop. No. It legally cannot enter your mic without being charged with criminal trespassing. What the? Okay, I like it more now. I mean, fair. Like, I'm an entire doofus when it comes to mic stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. My mic has so many fucking like knobs and buttons or things on it I could turn. The half of this shit, I don't even remember what it does or how it orients. Just remember what? How am I gonna remember this? This thing has, what is it? 5 different orientations on a knob and like a fucking gain slider that doesn't stay in place. Like, I legitimately, I would have to take a fucking sticky note or marker or whatever the hell and put it on my mic so I would be able to remember, oh, this setting functions on these parts of the mic. This setting functions on these parts of the mic. Because goddamn it, I got a more complicated mic than I needed. Don't you tell me to get good, I swear to God, I will end you, Octavius. Just remember what the buttons do. Why are you like this? Get him bad. I mean... But that would imply I have the capability of being good. I don't. I am a walking skill issue. I mean, have y'all seen me play FPS? I am fucking terrible. Okay, but not as bad as Hanya in certain when it comes to Halo. You know what that means? You're gonna be bad at DPS too. Yeah! Yeah! And you know what? I will take that orbital strike like a champ. You're not Gojo. I mean, what you mean? I'm just an anime girl on the internet. I'll be fine. So, if you want to be technical, I'm pretty sure this mic is technically more of a podcast mic. So it has like, depending on how it's set, it has different like orientations for where the sound can be taken in from. And then depending on what's set on sets that. So I've been terrified to touch it ever since I realized that. And it's like, I'm not gonna touch anything but the game. Well, no. I don't wanna. Can't make me. You telling me to do something just makes me not want to do it so much harder. First of all, it's a knob. Secondly, no. I walked right into that. Fucking hell. I walked straight into that. I hate it here. Okay, so there's only see, but before I got totally distracted, the only issue, if I were to get the chicken tender model for the meme, the only thing is it will probably push back the entire nun stuff for October. The entire nun outfit and stuff for the model. So so it's like which, I mean, I don't mind that as much. There it is. Because I was gonna say is if it got pushed back because of already how large this file is, even though like my computer runs this model better since I've gotten more RAM and shit with the new PC, it would have to get pushed onto the upcoming model. Because I really don't want to make this model file any larger than it is. Chicken tender first. Hey, welcome in, Ruby. How you doing? Like, yeah, I don't hate the idea, but nah, I don't sacrifice stuff just for a meme. I mean, I think at best I could probably turn it into like a PNG and do it that way. But there wouldn't be any like full scale there wouldn't be any full scale model though for that, no. Hey, welcome in, okay, how you doing? Yeah, a little toggle for the new model. Then we have Better not just slept. I'm glad for you. I'm happy. I mean, which I do have the which we are on track for the model for next year. We are still on track for that, but you know, Octavius, it doesn't work very well when that's a mod. We got, so I mean, it's fine, honestly. I'm just saying, you just, it's not gonna work. It's all I'm telling you. Minnow! That was an accident! Why'd you gotta bring that up? The one time I accidentally banned you trying to ban somebody else. No, it 100% was an accident. Because, I was trying to ban, what is it? There was a bot on fucking Kick, and I was trying to ban them, and then did it? I am so used to fucking tech issues. That one I'm not falling for. My mic is lit up. I will not be falling for the mic is muted bullshit. Yeah, what you gonna do? Come over here and just turn my mic off? No, it says idiot on the ceiling. What do you mean?
Do it.
Wait, what was I talking about before I got distracted? Fuck, I don't remember what I was talking about. God damn it! Helldivers? I don't have Helldivers yet. I'm a model. Yeah, so everything's currently on schedule for new model next year. Everything is looking, knock on wood, for the last outfit for this model to be done for Halloween at the latest. No, that was wood. I just have a desk mat on top of my desk. Y'all really make me do this. I hurt my fucking hand doing that. What sauce will the new model come with? It would it'd probably be barbecue. Given on going off the colors of it. Yeah, I'm okay, chapter. So there is a model for. I'm getting the model upgraded next year. And I was just saying how, in closer to October, this model's gonna be getting its last update for, outfits. We are getting a chicken tender model. The only way a chicken tender model is going to happen is if Raising Cane's sponsors this and comes in my Twitter DMs. Is the only way there's gonna be an entire fucking full-scale chicken tender model. I'm pretty sure you're full of shit. Oh, god damn it. That does not mean bother them on Twitter. Someone got called out. That ain't anything new. I'm already fucking locked out my personal Twitter account right now anyway. So... You know... Just log back in. You know, I would. If X support wasn't such fucking garbage. Not world by CEO's phone number off the dark web and call. Do not. Just make them better. What? What does that even mean? I'm so confused. Make what better? Might reduce your pocket money to $250. I mean, $250's $250. No, I am being genuine. Do not. If you want to navigate the dark web, that is your own business. $100%. If you want to navigate dark web, that's your business. I ain't gonna tell you how to spend your time. But do not. Oh my god, why are you guys like this? This is my life now. I mean, why are y'all absolutely fucking batshit crazy? Aside from me being here. 2 hours of sleep in a 3-day window. Yeah, that would do it. That would do it. You're basically halfway to Dreamland. Lord. What's us, 3:30. Alright, Arbel, I hope you have a good night. Try not to stay up too late. Okay. What was I doing? Alright. Oh yeah. So the model stuff, got the pickles done. You know what? You know what? To round out that last dono, since 2 pickles is technically still lacking 10. No, Octavius. No. That's not how that works. That's not how that works, darling. You're also supposed to switch to lurker mode. Alright, Kane, I appreciate you hanging on out. I will probably be DMing you at some point to figure out when we can like play Space Marine or something. Where are these flavors? Options. Turn out 50. So orange. Have the next week off. Well, we'll figure something out. We'll figure something out. So this one is juicy pear or booger. Please be pear. I swear to God. Okay, that was pear. That was definitely pear. And then have a good night, Kane. Yeah, this is either Tutti Frutti or Six. Okay, I'm pretty sure the next time I have to open a big, I have to do a bunch of Bean Boozles. I'm pretty sure they're all gonna be garbage. And no, Octavius, I've been too busy yapping. I haven't even started. Holy yapathon. I am a professional yapper. When I want to be. And even when I don't. I also talk a lot. I'm a fucking windbag, okay? You couldn't pay me to shut up. That won't go the way you think it will go. Alright. Let's see. What do I want to pull from first? Got bottom arts pulled up. Fat files. Helldivers, too bullshittery. I'm going to wait until my buddies go through that, so I know none of those are going to be too sus for Twitch. I do not need this page open. I do not need this page open. Although, you know what? I'm just gonna ask this. Is there anything I should be aware of when it comes to Helldivers 2? At all? Aside from all y'all are gonna fucking kill me. Okay, no then. Okay. 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 In that case... Not really. Are the mercies not coded in the game to prepare your situational awareness? Does that mean... I know what situational awareness is. I don't like using it, okay? Like... Look, I'm pretty sure the last time I used any type of awareness is when I was doing fucking, the Epic of Alexander on fucking Final Fantasy 14. And even then, that was a stretch. Hey, welcome in, Jigs. Hope you're doing well. Okay, all I'm hearing, Octavius, is if I play Helldivers, you need to be a target. And goddamn it, I'm going to try and take your ass out. Jigs, please be the voice of reason. I do not need a chicken tenders model, right? I'm not giving you any other context. Y'all are terrible! I turned me into a goddamn fucking chicken nugget. I've given you guys way too much power. I cannot wait to be free of that fucking profile picture. Y'all are fucking terrible. Alright, where's my scheduler? No. No. Absolutely not. We cannot do a hamster. We cannot, because if I got a hamster model, fucking Hanya will never live it down and will never let it fucking die. Hamster, there will be no hamster model. Absolutely not. No hamster, no guinea pig, no rat, In comparison to those, yes. But goddammit, I will not indulge anything of the Lost Islands because I am not giving Hanya any fucking leverage. I have to live with enough fucking short jokes from him. Hanya is a friend of mine who, we play Halo every Tuesday, who is, questionable sometimes. If he did his actions in game, he would be a war criminal. With his actions in life. Just hold on. Jigs, no, do not. Do not. I beg. Word on the street is you're 4 or 5. Word on Instagram says I'm 5'3". I'm not saying which is if any of that's right though. Of course, if you're fucking Hanya, he thinks I'm fucking like 3 inches tall. Two, 4. I need a fucking bat. Where's my fucking softball bat? Do you have any idea how little that narrows down? He's a character. That's all I'm gonna say. He's a character.
I'm in danger.
I have a bat. No, my bat is downstairs, unfortunately. So you got lucky. How do I put it? How the fuck do I describe Hanya? How the fuck do I? Not as out of pocket as some, but he's definitely out of pocket enthusiastic. Yeah, that's one way to put it. That's one way to put it. Enthusiastic. He's crazy. I'll put it that way. He's crazy. And make him sound not that bad. Oh, I never said he was bad. I'll take notes. I need a third for the squad. Like, if I could, as I would use his own description for himself, but that wouldn't be entirely honest. So. Nope. I'm not going any further on that. I refuse. A team killing gummy or mating hamster enjoyer can't dry mechanical man. But Minnow, you're forgetting the ramen part. That spaghetti noodles are the same as ramen noodles. You can't forget that part. Or that fucking gummy worms are parasites. I said what I said. Not sorry. This man has questionable food opinions, I'm telling you. He's a character. That's all I can say. He's a character. Ramen is not the same as spaghetti. I mean, that's what we tried telling him too, but he didn't want to listen. Actually, you know what? No, since I'm talking some fucking shit about him, this is the least I can do. I don't remember how to fucking do this. It's been so fucking long. How the fuck do I spell his name? For my offlines. Do not be at the bottom of the fucking list, I swear to God. Ad break in progress. Okay. Okay, it is underscored. I mean, it's supposed to be every half hour. But yeah, that fucking guy. That guy is who I'm talking about. He's an interesting character, but he's not a bad guy. He does play more shooters than I do, though. I think he's obsessed with marathon. I think he's been really in the marathon lately. I don't know anything about that, though. I'm pretty sure he's still upset about High Guard shutting down. Which, honestly, I kind of get it. Because from everything I saw for High Guard, like, I could see the potential that it had. But I honestly, I think it was too little, too late, wrong time. Granted, I don't even really know what Marathon is. I just literally know he's been playing it. Literally, that's all I know. Okay, I should probably get into the video list. I don't want to raw dog those because I don't know what they are. Let me sheet over go through those. You know what? You know what? We'll start with the random Helldivers 2 bullshittery video that was posted in Discord. I think that's what we want to start with. PvP shooters, Royals, hero shooters, and arena shooters. So, I'll admit, I used to play the fuck out of Overwatch. I used to play Paladins. I used to play Smite. I never did play, I never played League. Well, no, that's a lie. That's a lie. I played League twice. And then uninstalled that shit and never touched it again. But I kind of hate that it feels like so many of the games that are coming out now are just either they're battle royales or extraction shooters or fucking blah 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 blah. And it's just, I don't like it. A former League player. Okay, look, the only time I played League was with my ex, okay? And I was bad at it. And I got yelled at a lot. And now it's just, fuck this, I'm done. And uninstalled that shit, never touched it again. Former League player. Former. It counts. It counts. Like, I haven't logged in my fucking Riot account in, like, years. Hot take, can't fun playing League, just aren't good enough. Well, here's the thing, Jigs. I've never played League, so he kind of just threw me to the wolves without any, like, real time to, like, look at anything. So I was literally at a position of trying to figure and find a character and everything on the fly. And it was just not a pleasant time. Yeah, I played League twice. After the second time of being an absolute fucking shit show, I was like, you know what, fuck this, I'm not playing it anymore. Because goddammit, if I cannot enjoy a game, let it be with friends, or by myself especially, why the fuck would I play it? Don't get me wrong, like, I'll watch League, but I won't touch it. My days of playing MOBAs are behind me. Okay, alright. Helldivers video. So we are starting off with the Helldivers 2 bullshittery that was suggested in Discord. Which I have very little knowledge of Helldivers to begin with, so this is going to be great. I own Ready or Not, thank you.
To spread democracy to the bugs, if Ginny can find one.
This is where he's being indecisive. He can't decide where to eat. Chinese, pizza, whatever. Just pick one. Fuck it.
Ginny, pick something.
I'm looking for a certain mission.
Extraction, geological survey. Okay.
If I stand here, Harry, am I in front of the screen?
Yeah, you really
Good luck, Harry. Hard mode.
Oh, damn it.
Okay, so what's the mission, gentlemen?
Research data.
Oh my god, I found the chat.
Yeah, enter. For fuck's sake.
Of course. Gun. Is there friendly fire?
Yes.
Good.
Oh,
Just
charming.
checking. Is there a melee key?
There is F.
Thanks.
Oh, ow. Let's move to extract, gentlemen. Let's get out the pelican.
Thank you. Oh fuck. Thank you, Tigget. Oh no, my thanks subscriber button is tied to go jump on the ground. That's gonna be really inconvenient. Thank you, Sir Merbles. Thank you, Dark Youngling. Thank you, Gamer DK. This is gonna get really inconvenient. Thank you, Limey.
That sounds like
Thank
something I'd fucking do
Thank
by
you, Limey.
accident.
Oh my god! What
I mean, you
happens if
can
someone
swim a
subs to me
little
now
bit.
and I dive into the water? Do I die?
Yes.
You'll start to drown.
No one sub. No one fucking sub. Shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Hang on. Thank you for subbing,
Stub
man.
your form for
Thank
calling
you.
in
You bastards! God! Oh god! Oh god! Ouch! Shit!
If that involves typing in a long ass sequence, I'm fucked.
Jesus Christ! Fuckity fuck biscuits. Need a.
Don't wobble. Get ready to shoot the spots we want to take him on.
Hang on, I'm making a snow angel. Hang on, wait.
Okay, too late.
There you go, see? It's a really fat snow angel.
Defend wobble.
There's a few long ones.
Yay!
Well done, give me a hug. Well done.
Well done, thank you.
Oh,
Thank you for the
God.
support, thank you. Shittle.
Okay, this is me we're talking about though.
Me, Mac? Yeah, we can go to extraction.
What air support was that? Cluster bomb, are you serious? Damn it, Harry! Oh, cover me. Oh, I said cover me, what was that? Dive, oh, fuck me.
Oh, it's adorable.
Help, please, help me, please.
Yeah,
Ouch, they shot me in the shoulder. That's not helping me.
I have a plan!
What's your plan?
Lasers!
Bring me in.
Oh, go
Oh
away!
god, spicy torch.
Supply as well. Oh god, oh my god, the laser!
I kind of want those as
On our way
pets.
home.
Thank you,
Okay,
Kirky
there's a
Worky.
big
Thank you,
behind there.
Dumbbell.
Are you
Oh,
thinking
you're
your
right.
chance over here?
Every time someone subs, they fucking throw me to the ground. Am I leaving it on to bait subs? No. Who would do that?
I don't think you're gonna make a vlog vessel burst.
Never. Thank you, Bullet Tornado. Thank you, Grigo. Thank you very much, Grigo. Thank you, the King Cobra. Thank you. Thank you, 09 Joe. Damn it! Damn it, Joe.
Whoops.
Oh, well, no.
Oh.
Okay.
Second floor bases.
You know how hard it is to make
Mantis.
me crash out.
Did you ever, you know when Psycho
make
Mantis
blood
did the
vessels
whole,
burst
I'm gonna make
and
like
get
read your
angry?
save file or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm frustrated.
and I'm gonna make your
Actually, no,
controller
frustrated is
vibrate.
pretty easy, actually.
Did you ever put the controller on your nuts? Neither did I.
Definitely
Huh?
never did that.
Greetings, in the name of the Federation.
Yeah, something like that. Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. Look at us go. We're role playing or something.
There's no playing when it comes to democracy.
Just like this.
Any
Democracy.
seriousnip.
No, quite.
Kalako's here.
Sending the IP and everything.
He's here. We must salute him. Hang on.
Can we
Stand in a
email
line.
again?
Stand in a line. 3,
Shit.
2, 1, salute. You fucked it up, Tinklebee. You fucked it up.
You fucked it up.
I can do hard. I can do hard.
trivial.
Oh no,
No.
no. Hard's doable.
Okay.
Who's fucking doing cocaine?
Right, Mr. Womble,
Mm-hmm.
come to this board over here. Where the fuck are you? You're in the
What the fuck?
You're in
What?
the fucking ceiling.
Why
with
am I in
me.
the ceiling?
Hell yeah.
Oh my god. Why was I in the ceiling? Sorry, I was.
Why not?
You can pick things you want to bring into the next battle. You can call in gas strikes. You can call in minefields.
Can you guys trip on the mines and die?
Yes.
I'm unlocking this
That's
immediately.
why they're
Well,
called
use the minefield.
mines.
I'll go in. Don't. Do not be here.
Oh, stop me in your fucking mine!
Skirt my way round these mines.
Yes.
Oh!
I'm helping.
Oh,
shit.
It's a mine. Oh, watch out for the mine.
Watch out for the mines. I'm sorry about that mine there that I put there.
Look at that.
Right,
Oh, nice.
you go to where Tom is.
That was a good shot, actually. With all the cannons.
Ow, oh shit!
There's a minefield here!
Someone put a minefield
What's that
here.
minefield here?
Why
I
not?
put the SSD in the minefield.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's
It's
a lot
fine,
of
I can get it.
mines.
I can get it, it's fine. My own mines won't hurt me. Oh, Jesus! They don't know we're coming. We have the element of surprise. We had the element of surprise.
Surprise.
This charge, we're gonna deal with it, man.
I've had enough, Charger. I've had enough. Have you heard of my friend Orbital Laser?
Yeah, thanks.
Well done, Dingus. Bloody hell, dude.
Sorry.
Fire your bridge crew.
Sorry. It's
Die, communist robots.
Reinforce us.
You robots, cunts.
Oh,
Ouch, shit.
No, you don't. Run away! Don't stick close to it! It explodes!
What? What do you mean it exploded?
Rare sample acquired.
That's cool, Bundy. Is that a jetpack?
yep.
Nice.
Some people will tell you
Give me a
it's
sec.
useless.
Fuck a march.
I disagree.
probably depends on the person. On you, it's probably useless.
Oh no, a gate. What am I gonna do?
Oh no, I can't get out. Oh, you fucker! Damn it, I want a jetpack now. Oh, oh, you piece of shit! Damn it! Fuck! I'm gonna go round like a fucking. Damn you, Bundy!
You're like a pleb.
You motherfucker.
I'm gonna shoot you guys out. I'm
Show
gonna
off.
shoot you out of the air. Oh god.
Bundy, jetpack over there and attack that factory. Go!
Hey!
Actually, I can nade it from here.
Okay, I made it up. I made it up. I made it up.
Bundy, incoming airstrike.
Oh no no no! Ah! I've got one.
Good job, Bundy! You're doing great! I have excellent news, gentlemen.
Yeah?
I've unlocked a second type of minefield.
Oh. Oh.
I'm doing a Princess Diana. I'm raising awareness about minefields. There's one over there, look. I just planted it there.
We got to get a grenade through one of the top vents
I got it.
on the roof. You got it? Oh, nice, you did. Nice.
Good airstrike, lads.
Thank you. Good throw, Womble. Let's go.
Thank you. Hitting the
See it,
fabricator.
I'm shooting it.
Nice.
Yes.
Fabricator up there.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it. I don't think I can. Oh, I got it.
That's a good throw. Nice. Actually, can't do this with grenades. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Nade.
You got it?
Hit. I missed. Nade. Hit.
I'm the last person
I missed
on
again.
grenades.
I'll do it, for fuck's sake. Frag out.
What bizarre world am I living in where you land a frag and I don't?
I know, it's weird. Start moving northwest up the hill towards that radar installation. If you go around the mines, you're a pussy. No, you motherfucker. You fucking.
Ow.
Don't you fucking think about it. Don't you fucking think about it. Oh, I'm burning. Oh, Tom! Do I owe you money? Do I owe you money? Calling in a support weapon. Enjoy my new Tesla tower.
Oh
we're all
god, stay
dead.
away from that. Stay very much away from that.
But it's so beautiful.
Yeah,
It's so beautiful.
Is that the max suit that we get, or did they pull
Like
that?
I'm lost to a flame.
Okay, you're bringing yours. Okay,
Yeah.
we can steal
Bring
that.
mines? Okay, I'll bring mines.
No,
That's not what I
He
said.
said bring mines. I'm bringing mines.
Oh god, yeah, big boy. Go. Oh, it's jumping around.
Oh god! One of my own mines. So that's what that feels like.
Ship is coming in. Ship is coming in. I repeat. Ship.
Hard mode, motherfuckers. There are mines on the LZ.
What the
Oh,
fuck, you
no.
asshole?
Don't step on the
Oh.
red. Good luck. Here we go. Woo!
That's tiptoeing between it.
This is a fucking huge butt. Doing anything.
Okay, I'm calling in a hell bomb.
I will not remember any of this by the time
guys, I
I
kinda
get
fucked
the
up.
fucking
Oh, look.
Helldivers.
What the fuck?
I ain't
They
gonna
fly
remember
now?
any of this.
I thought this was...
Run away, Soviet. Run away. Run away.
Run away?
Run away.
Ah! Jesus! My legs! I'm stuck! You jammed me in the railing! Rico! Rico, you know what to do!
I'm not watching this to retain information.
Oh shit, it's a big fucking thing! Big,
Oh, that's a factory walker. What the fuck?
gonna melee it. Hang on. It's weak to melee, I'll take it. Ah, you bastard!
You can do it.
Ah!
Slap it, Wobble.
God almighty!
Run, Wobble.
There we go. Hey.
Hey, we got it.
I weakened it.
Die, assholes.
Woo!
Oh shit, there's robots here.
You're on the wrong side of the door, Duck.
Oh my god. Open the door.
Huh? What?
Open the door.
I can't hear you.
Open the goddamn gate.
I can't hear him. Someone's firing this gun turret. I can't hear you.
I think he'll get me here.
Yeah.
I think I'm safe. Oh, fuck.
From the DJ!
You motherfucker.
Shit, the bed. What do we shoot on it?
Anything?
Calling in on it, Tom.
He's riding it.
Kill it from the inside.
Dude, yeah, you can do it, Tom.
You can do it, Tom.
Or not.
Ship.
Ship. Ship. Get in. Ouch, my bum. Get him, fuck off. You little motherfucker.
Oh god, he's shot to
Get in.
I'm stuck! I'm stuck!
Wait, how the fuck does ship survive that? What the fuck?
Get better, guys. Get better, or it's off to the orphanage for all of you. Who's that fell off?
Magic, clearly. Clearly. Clearly it's magic. Oh do I got a surprise window? Oh, no. Oh, boy. I don't like surprises. Surprises scare me. Too bad I should be scared. I don't want it though. I don't want to be scared. I'll be fine. I'll be fine, probably. More than likely. Yeah, and so if you want to say it 4 times, I can do the. I can impersonate the fucking whatchamacallit, the trombone sound. I can't? I can't read? That's news to me. So I've been hallucinating this whole time? No. Alright. Onwards to the subway video. Then I'll have to refill my water after this. The worst franchise in America, Subway. Look, Subway got on my shit list when they raised the price to footlongs.
To call my lawyer before I post the video. Today we're talking about Subway. Why? Because I went there for like the first time in 10 years the other day, and they asked me for a tip at checkout, which annoyed me. So then I looked into it, and then I found out that you can get hepatitis from a sandwich.
Wait,
I'm
what?
not exaggerating. That actually happened, and it's like the tip of the iceberg. And to be honest with you, this is also the part where my lawyer explicitly told me to insert a disclaimer in this video. So here's Jake the lawyer, aka the Internet Esquire.
Okay, here's the
I
deal.
love legal
Subway Group, now
disclaimers.
fully owned by affiliates of Rourke Capital and formerly known as Pizza Super Submarine Sandwiches. My client, the Mr. Fat Electrician, is providing in this video true or substantially true information derived from reasonably reliable and publicly available material. There are no known falsehoods made, and any analysis of the material presented is made solely for the purposes of news reporting, protected commentary, or new understandings. In no way is this video or the things said by my client in this video in any medium now known or hereafter advised throughout the universe and in perpetuity in any way a sponsorship or endorsement of Subway Group. And any so-called conclusions drawn by my client as a result of the material are that of opinion, satire, or are otherwise accurate depictions preserved in their full context when not otherwise artistically interpreted for the purposes of valuable public commentary. And
For one, that is one hell of a legal disclaimer. What the fuck did he find out?
notwithstanding the foregoing, we reserve all right, title, and interest in and to the presentation of the materials presented in this audiovisual format, and with God as our witness, pray that no binders be bound against you as a result of this video. I'm Jake the lawyer.
Not the
signing off.
binders.
All right, in case you can't tell, this video is going to be unhinged, so let's just get the ad out of the way now, and then we can watch my blood pressure rise for the next 15 minutes straight. This video is brought to you by Supremacy World War III, a free-to-play online PvP strategy-based game available on mobile and desktop. This is based on a World War III type scenario, which definitely isn't becoming more and more realistic every single day. You can pick your country and go off to war playing with up to 99 other people. Personally, I'm picking the United States because I enjoy winning. But hey, that's me. You can do whatever you want. You can go play as Iran. Maybe it's fun to lose your entire navy in
Look,
like
this
45
man
minutes.
gave me permission
Again, I mean, seriously, if I had a
react
nickel
to his
for every single
videos
time
in
that a Republican
emails.
TV star
In
became
email.
the president of
So
the
the
United
least I
States,
can
and then
do is
workers
let his
randomly
sponsored
started wearing
segment
dead
run.
salmons on top of their heads, and then America destroyed Iran's entire navy in like a
Yeah,
day.
I know I'm not getting
I'd
paid
have 2
for it.
nickels,
I
which
know.
isn't a lot, but that's a really weird coincidence. Also, yes, I called that. They also just released their new
But he
update
gave me
where
free
you
shit
can
in
unlock
writing to
elite
react to his
commanders that give your
content. So
entire
the least I can
country
do
unique
is watch
abilities and
is let
powers
his
and
sponsored
power-ups.
segments run.
And if you use my code down below, you're going to immediately unlock a free railgun, giving you a huge advantage right out of the gate. So go check that out. Let's get back to the video. All right, story time. I used to go to Subway every single day my junior, senior year of high school, and the entire time I was in college, I pretty much exclusively survived off of Subway and protein shakes. And this is back in the day when that Jared from Subway guy that lost a bunch of weight was still in every other TV commercial and plastered all over billboards all over the country, and footlongs were $5. So when I went into Subway the other day for the first time in like 10 years, I was expecting the price, you know, probably went up a little bit. Inflation, everything going on,
You
it's
thought.
probably not $5 anymore. That's fine. I go in,
More like
I have my
15.
sandwich made, I get to checkout. My sandwich was like $19.
They said market price.
So right out of the gate, there's some sticker shock, but immediately I'm looking for silver linings. I'm like, okay, Subway's probably one of these companies that has like a pretty high minimum wage for their workers, and that's what's going to justify the price of the sandwich. It's actually going to the worker. That, you know what, that's fine. And then the cashier does the classic swivel the fucking tablet around, asking me how much money I want to leave for a tip.
Oh, you motherfuckers.
Immediately, I cave to societal pressure because I don't want this young lady to think I'm an asshole, so I leave a tip, I grab my sandwich, I go eat my sandwich. While I'm eating the sandwich, I'm just stewing. Like, I don't think I should have to tip the people that work at Subway. Not because I don't think, you know, they provide a service, they did a good job, or, you know, they deserve to make more money. They do, that's fine. But the company should be paying them more fucking money. I just paid 300% more money for my sandwich. Pay your employees more money. I understand Subway's a restaurant and like you tip people that work at restaurants, but it's not like I sat down, a waiter came out, took my drink order, took my food order, brought me my food. There was no service involved, okay? I stood there and told you how to make the fucking sandwich. I was the project manager on this sandwich, okay? As far as I'm concerned, I'm part of the team.
Part of the crew, part of the ship. Part of the crew, part of the ship.
At this point, I become convinced at some point in the past 10 years, all the big wigs at Subway got together in their headquarters in some secret underground layer underneath the volcano or wherever Subway's headquarters is, and they had a meeting, and in that meeting, they were like, okay, guys, we need to pay our employees more money. Option A, we can raise the price of the sandwich 300% and pay our employees more money. Option B, we can raise the price of the sandwich 300% and then we can add a tip screen. That way, when the employees are mad they're not making enough money, we shift the blame from us to the customers. Okay, I'm sorry, you don't get to charge me 4 times as much for a sandwich and then also try to paint me as an asshole to the high schooler behind the cash register. It's not gonna happen. So now I gotta know everything. I start digging into Subway.
What is... Grab a shovel.
So, once upon a time, 1965, there's a 17-year-old kid named Fred DeLuca, and he wants to go off to medical school, but he doesn't have enough money to pay for it. So he's like, hey, my family has this rich friend. He's a nuclear physicist. He's got all kinds of money. I'm going to go to him and ask for his advice, probably secretly hoping that the guy's just going to offer to pay for my college. To his surprise, instead, nuclear physicist guy is like, I'm not going to pay for your college, but I will give you $1,000 to start a sandwich shop, and me and you can go into business together, and then you can use the money from the sandwich shop to pay for medical school. And $1,000 in 1965 is like 20 grand today, so not an insignificant amount of money. So they open up Pete's Submarines, which is the original name for Subway, and for the first couple of years, they don't really make any money, and a humongous problem they have is people keep calling to order pizza. Because apparently Fred DeLuca in all the radio advertisements has a thick New York accent, so when he says Pete's Submarines, what people hear is Pizza Marines. So rather than learning how to say Pete's Submarines, he's like, fuck it, we're just gonna rename the restaurant Subway. From here, they start like breaking even. They're making a little bit of money, but like it's nothing to write home about. He's not gonna be able to go to medical school anytime soon. And he's like, okay, hear me out. I've got an idea. We're not really making any money with the submarine shop. What if we double down and open a second submarine shop?
Dream big. Right?
Basically, he uses reverse psychology into tricking people to come in to eat these sandwiches because when he opens up a second location, people are like, oh my God, they're opening up second locations. They're expanding. They must be delicious. And he starts getting more business. Some of the best advice I've ever heard in my entire life when I was in the military was fake it till you make it. And that's exactly what they're doing here. And it works. Now, ultimately, this is going to be their downfall. But at the time, it makes sense. Fred identifies, hey, rapid expansion is what's making money. We're going to keep rapidly expanding. More locations, more money, more market dominance. makes sense. So they start opening up Subways everywhere, and then they start franchising, which is, you know, basically, hey, you can use my branding, you can use all my vendors, I'll show you how to do this job, you pay me a bunch of money to open up a Subway, and then you give me like a percentage of your cut, and then they just start opening up franchises all over the United States. And this is actually brilliant for Subway because Subway has a ton of advantages when it comes to franchising. Because Subway, they're just making sandwiches. They don't need deep fryers, they don't need a big cooktop, they don't need all the stuff that other restaurants need, they don't need a ton of special equipment, there's not a bunch of special training. Everybody on the planet knows how to make a sandwich. So the overhead to open up a new restaurant is extremely low. The amount of training you have to give employees is extremely low, and the amount of space that you actually need to have a functioning Subway is also extremely low because, again, they don't have ovens and deep fryers and all that other shit. Which also means that it's really cheap to start a Subway because there's not a lot of overhead, so you could open up a Subway for like $150,000 to $200,000, where competitors like McDonald's are like $2 million to open up a McDonald's. And this is where Subway's fixation with hyper expansion starts to bite them in the ass because, again, that's all they care about, just more Subways. More Subways is the answer. More Subways equals more money. Typically, with a franchise, the franchising company like Subway or McDonald's is committed to making sure that their franchisees, aka their restaurant locations and their owners, are successful. There's a lot of ways that they do this, and one of the big ones is typically having territories. So like Chick-fil-A or McDonald's will look at a city and be like, okay, this city has one McDonald's, it's big enough for two McDonald's, but we're gonna stick it on the other end of town so both of these franchises can be successful. Subway, on the other hand, doesn't appear to give a shit because remember, all they care about is having more Subways. More equals more money, so they don't care how close they get put together, and there's Subways across the street from Subways all over America. I'm not exaggerating. In my small town in Iowa, there's 3 Subways, and 2 of them are in the same parking lot. One of them is in Walmart, and the other one is like 200 yards outside the front doors of Walmart as a standalone Subway. So obviously, they start cannibalizing each other's profits. They're literally competing with themselves. And that's not even the worst part. The overall franchise agreement, I've looked into a lot of restaurants to have franchising. This is the worst one by far. I would be shocked if it's not the worst one on the planet. Not only if you open up a Subway, will they let somebody else open up another Subway right across the street and cannibalize a lot of your profits, they also have like the highest franchise fee that I've ever come across at 12.5%, and a franchise fee is taken from gross revenue, not gross profit, meaning before you even take out all the costs of running this business, Subway's taken 12.5% right off the top. To put it into perspective, McDonald's franchise fee is 8%, so Subway's is 50% higher for a much simpler business. And that's not even the worst part. In the Subway franchise agreement, well, in every franchise agreement, really, there's, you know, terms where you can revoke somebody's franchise. Basically, like if a McDonald's or a Chick-fil-A isn't living up to the McDonald's or Chick-fil-A name, they can take away the name so you're no longer a McDonald's or a Chick-fil-A, so you don't ruin their reputation across the entire country. And Subway has the same thing. That's fine, but theirs is intentionally broad, and they can basically take your location from you for a wide variety of reasons, and they've been taken to court multiple times, being accused of nitpicking minor stuff to take over very profitable locations. Including in 2005 when they seized 2 Subways in Dallas, Texas from a lieutenant colonel in the Army Reserve who was actively on deployment in fucking Afghanistan. Now, to be fair, I don't know what their justification was for why they seized the locations, but considering the fact that in 2009, Subway lost the court case to said lieutenant colonel because they deemed it illegal, I'm gonna say they weren't fucking good enough. But hypothetically, just for fun, let's just say they were good reasons. Subway Corporate identifies 2 restaurants in Dallas, Texas that aren't living up to the Subway standard, and they're like, what's going on here? What should we do? Oh, the owner's on deployment in fucking Afghanistan and isn't there to run it appropriately. Should we A, step in and help during the most stressful time of their entire life, presumably? Or should we B, repo their businesses, take their family's livelihood, so that while they're also fighting a war, they can deal about their family back home and losing their business? Huge W for corporate Subway. Makes them look great. I'm sorry, I'm getting horrifically sidetracked, but you guys get it. The franchise agreement is complete and utter bullshit and has been for the majority, if not the entire time Subway's been in business. Back to the timeline. In the 1980s and the 1990s, Subway is growing like crazy, and then in 1999, they have their first major scandal when 32 people in Seattle got hepatitis from 2 different Subway locations for eating a sandwich. One of which was a 6-year-old boy who went into acute liver failure and had to get a liver transplant.
Shit. I didn't understand what you said. Could you put that in layman terms for me?
I'll be honest, didn't even know you could get hepatitis from a sandwich, but a new fear has just been unlocked for me, and I think we can all agree that, you know, the healthy, fresh...
That is honestly a terrifying thought, because I really like sandwiches.
option giving you hepatitis isn't a great look for Subway. So now Subway's hurting. They need a new PR campaign to turn this entire thing around. And in 2000, 1 year later, they find it in a college student that had lost like 250 pounds, supposedly only eating Subway, Jared Fogle. He starts filming commercials talking about how much weight he lost only eating Subway. He's bringing up his old pants and now he can fit in like one leg of the pants, showing off how much weight he lost. It is a humongous marketing success. Legitimately one of the most iconic and successful marketing campaigns of all time. Everybody knows Jared from Subway. He becomes the face of the company. It's so successful that Subway corporate said between 2000 and 2011, they credit Jared's ad campaign with a third to a half of their growth during that time. And during that time, they tripled in size. So you can't really argue with the results of this ad campaign. However, it's not something I would ever advise, having somebody off the street become the national spokesperson for your humongous company. Why? Because if they do some crazy shit, it's going to make the entire company look bad. And this is why most huge companies have a fictional character as their mascot. You've got Ronald McDonald, Burger King, the Michelin Tire Man, Tony the Tiger. They're cartoons. They're safe. They're never going to get pulled over for a DUI while they have a pile of blow and a hooker in the back seat. Like, that's the idea. I'm sure you all know what I'm getting at, because in 2015, Jared Fogle ends up getting arrested and sent to federal prison for 15 years for, and I quote, illicit sexual conduct with a minor and having a bunch of illicit child material on his computer. That unpopular opinion, 15 years, not enough. Okay, there's nothing funny about this, but the amount of just tragic irony and foreshadowing that the college student that got famous for fitting into a smaller pair of pants ultimately gets put in federal prison for trying to get in little kids' pants is horrific.
Yeah, that is hardly
that was
11 years ago.
Luckily for Subway, they'd kind of been phasing Jared out as their head of marketing since 2008 when they came out with the $5 footlong. Again, I'm not saying a lot of positive stuff about Subway, but their marketing team is on point, because the $5 footlong also is one of the most iconic marketing campaigns of all time.
Jingle.
I mean, we all know the $5 footlong jingle. $5 footlong. The only jingle that's ever been made that's better than that is J.G. Wentworth, and I don't even know what the fuck J.G. Wentworth does, but I will know his song till the day I die.
Yes,
so the
J.G.
Subway $5
Wentworth.
footlong absolutely dominates. This came out in 2008, right when, you know, the housing market crashed, the economy's in the tank. You could go and buy a footlong sandwich for $5. People loved it. Well, most people loved it. Pretty much everybody loved it except for the franchise owners, because the franchise owners were like making little to no money. Some of the sandwiches they were even losing money on at the $5 price point. But they have to do it because Subway can set the prices, and if they can't set the prices, they can at least advertise the fuck out of it so everybody that comes into your Subway expects a $5 footlong. And then once you've already made it and they're mad that it's not $5, what are you gonna do? Throw it away? You're gonna sell it for $5 and save what money you can. I know what you're thinking. Why would Subway be willing to make a $5 footlong if they're not making money on it? Oh, that's simple, because Subway corporate doesn't give a fuck about its franchise owners. At least that's what it would appear to be, right? They're screwing them over left and right. And
That's what I thought
Subway
they
takes
did.
12.5% of their gross revenue, meaning not profit. So they're taking 12.5% of that $5, even if it costs them $6 to make it. Subway corporate is still getting paid. Fuck the franchise owner. And this is kind of the peak and then the downward slide of Subway, because the controversies just keep coming after this. First, they get busted because the footlongs aren't actually a foot long. People are walking in with tape measures, measuring them. They're 10 inches, 11 inches, not 12 inches. Okay, and I'm gonna kind of defend Subway on this one because this is a stupid complaint. It's the same amount of dough. They just didn't stretch it out enough before they put it in the oven. It's the same amount of bread, the same amount of calories. You're getting what you paid for. And that's really all Subway had to say. It was like, hey, sorry, the employee didn't stretch the dough out long enough before he stuck it in the oven, but all the bread is still there. And everybody would have been like, oh, that makes sense. That's cool. Do you think that's what Subway did?
No.
Absolutely not. Instead, they released an official statement on their Facebook that says, and I quote, with regards to the size of the bread and calling it a footlong, Subway footlong is a registered trademark as a descriptive name for the sub sold in Subway restaurants and not intended to be a measurement of length. Translation, just because we call it a footlong doesn't mean you can expect it to be a foot long. That's just what we call it, you fucking idiot. Yeah, that Facebook post went about as well as you'd expect. They ended up taking it down. The balls to be like, we call it a footlong sub because we call it a footlong sub, not because it's 12 inches long, and if you interpret it as that way, you're dumb, is insane. To be fair though, a 2x4
Honestly, I think it's pretty valid. If it's called a foot long, to be expecting a sandwich to be a fucking foot long, I think that's pretty fucking valid.
hasn't been a 2x4 since like 1960 and nobody seems to care. Probably because the lumber companies don't scoff and look at you like you're a moron if you expect a 2x4 to be 2x4, but whatever. So then Subway loses their damn mind. They think they have trademarked the phrase footlong in regards to sandwiches, even though a footlong to them doesn't mean 12 inches, which ultimately leads them to suing Casey's gas station, which I've done a video on. My favorite pizza on the planet is Casey's gas station pizza. They file a lawsuit against Casey's because Casey's also makes sub sandwiches, and their 12-inch long sandwich they call a foot long. So Subway tries to sue them for trademark infringement on a fucking measurement. A measurement that they don't even abide by. Do you understand how fucking insane that is? That'd be like if I opened up a milk company and I sold
what fucking timeline is
milk
this?
and I trademarked the phrase gallon of milk, and then I only sold you 3 quarts of milk, and then I turned around and sued the motherfucker actually selling you a gallon of milk. It's insanity. Obviously, they lost this fucking lawsuit because duh. So Subway's on its down slump, and then they just lose all credibility as being healthy in the coming scandals. Buh! What do you mean it's not healthy? Jared lost 250 pounds doing it. Buh! Okay, Jared lost a bunch of weight because he was eating 2 6-inch subs a day, and they were mostly vegetables. He was eating like 1,200 calories. You can eat 1,200 calories of literally fucking anything, and you're gonna lose weight. If you eat 1,200 calories of Slim Jims and M&Ms, you're gonna lose weight, especially if you're doing a bunch of cardio chasing children at a playground like that sick pervert. In 2017, CBS, the news network, decided they were gonna conduct a little study on Subway chicken. They went, they bought a sandwich, they took the chicken, took it to a lab, and found out that the chicken that Subway sells is anywhere from 42% to 53% chicken.
Oh.
What the fuck is the rest of it? Wait, let me guess. You trademarked the term chicken breast, and now if anybody assumes that a chicken breast is made out of chicken, we're obviously fucking stupid. Is that what it is? Thankfully, no, they learned their lesson. They did not go that route again. What they did was they're like, okay, we're fucking up. We're gonna make sure that the chicken is actually 100% chicken. No, I'm just kidding. They turned around and tried to sue CBS for malicious news and took them to court, and they lost.
I'm sorry, what? They sued them for getting a sandwich, getting the meat tested, and they're upset that it was that low, or 50%, and it got broadcast. Well, I don't know, maybe use a complete, make it 100% chicken, like. Use 100% chicken and wouldn't have that fucking problem now, would you?
Again, because as it turns out, it's not illegal to tell the truth.
There is no way in hell that I am going to say. Oh, I'm really worried I'm going to say it.
Then in 2020 in Ireland was instituting a new tax where they were going to, have to tax more on food made in restaurants, and Subway came to the table and they argued, well, Ireland has certain staple foods that you can't increase taxes on, and one of those staple foods is bread, and we make all of our bread fresh in our restaurants.
It's not considered bread,
we should
though,
be
in
exempt
Ireland.
from this tax. Okay, not a big fan of Subway right now. I'll admit it. I'll be up front. However, that's a reasonable point, and Ireland agrees. And Ireland is like, okay, we hear you. Send some bread off to the lab, and we'll take a look at it. They send the bread off to the lab, and the Irish Supreme Court comes back and says, there's so much fucking sugar in this bread, you're not legally allowed to call this bread in the country of Ireland. You have to classify this as cake. You're selling cake sandwiches.
Yep.
And all of this just keeps coming out one after another after another. It's promoted
Bread
by a
here is
pedophile.
actually
The franchises
considered
aren't
sweet.
making money. The foot-long sandwiches are only 10 inches long, and they're not bread. They're made out of cake. Half the chicken inside the chicken isn't even fucking chicken. Obviously, it leads to the public perception that Subway isn't that fucking healthy. And while all this is going on, they get rid of the $5 footlong and jack the fucking prices through the roof, and then add a tip screen at checkout. Needless to say, Subway's in the fucking tank. They've closed down 7,600 locations since 2015, and they're closing down hundreds, if not thousands of locations every single year, and they are on a humongous decline. And this entire thing is just a textbook example of shitty leadership ruining an A-grade idea, because a Subway franchise was a golden idea, a brilliant idea. Super cheap to start up, didn't need any specialized equipment. Everybody that knows how to breathe and chew bubble gum can learn how to make a sandwich in like 5 seconds. It was so easy to make a ton of money, but instead, Subway corporate was like, we're gonna make as much money as possible and fuck over all the franchisees, even though they're on our team. team. All they had to do was be like, hey, we're gonna structure this in a way so that the franchisees are winning, then we're gonna win, and everybody's gonna fucking win. But no, they took the easy way out to make as much money as they could, as fast as they could, and they didn't give a shit about anybody else, and it tanked the entire company. They ended up selling to Rourke Capital in 2024, which owns Jimmy John's and Arby's and a bunch of other restaurants, so hopefully a lot of this bad leadership stuff is gone already, or if not, it's getting phased out. Also, I've talked an outrageous amount of shit in this entire video, so I want to take a minute and just be like, hey, I understand if you're mad at Subway right now too. I am as well. However, your local Subway branch probably isn't owned by Big Subway. It's probably owned by somebody in your community that's just trying to make a living making sandwiches, and don't take it out on them. It's not their fault, and they're probably a lot more mad at corporate Subway than we are, trust me. Thank you for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch, maybe drink some Echelon. Links for both of those are over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang out. Don't forget to go check out Supremacy World War III, unlock your railgun, and go.
Damn, I was hoping you'd have a blooper at the end. Or something else, not another advert. Fucking Subway, man. I understand why they had a legal disclaimer on that one. I completely understand now. Definitely needed a legal disclaimer. So he doesn't get sued. Because they seemed pretty sue happy. So, I mean... I'm not falling into the Y trick again. We're not doing that again. We're not doing that. Alright. Next, I got... Baltimore? Baltimore? I think it's Baltimore. It is Baltimore. You are capable of figuring it out for yourself, Octavius. Alright, so next up, actually, let me make sure I have enough water before this. Okay, I do have enough. Okay. Welcome to Baltimore Sky, the faith and fanaticism of the Sisters of Battle. You'll be okay, Buttercup. You'll be okay. I promise. You'll be okay.
Welcome, gentle listener. I am Voldemort, your faithful servant, and we on the Guides wish to introduce you to the forces, factions, and feeling of the Warhammer 40k universe, the grim darkness of the far future, where there is no time for peace, there is only time for war. The Imperium is a horror. Few can come to terms with its brutality, its useless waste of human life, endeavor, and spirit. To showcase this unenviable existence, a debut by our new member of the team, Gremlin Girl. I asked her to write a section showing the true brutality of this regime as a hard test, and I for one believe she has managed it. Please note that Gremlin Girl will be assisting me on some entries in the future, never replacing me before anyone howls, for I could do with the assistance, and we will be opening a new channel or two in 2022. Stay tuned, information coming soon. So, do please encourage Gremlin Girl as she takes her first forays into public entertainment, in that most terrifying of all places, in the grim darkness of the far future.
It started slow in my sister. We were always striving to be the best. For the Emperor's sake, for his glory, for his might. But something shifted. A little at a time, she started to change. We who fought together and worshipped him with such devotion. We did not want to believe it. My own sister. I thought she was trying to be more pure, more holy, more pious. But her faith was swaying. She was striving for perfection. Staying in our camps between battles, we would pray together, and she said a longer prayer. No matter. She said she wanted to thank the Emperor's might that we prevailed in battle once more. We lit the candles and no one thought of it. We trained together and she would stay just a little longer, swinging her sword over and over and over. She wanted to serve the Emperor to the very best of her ability, as she said. Later, she would sharpen her blade whilst we cleaned weapons, but she thought it wasn't sharp enough. There were still imperfections. My sisters and I didn't notice at first, for she remained our sister. She was vicious in battle and more attentive to her duties than ever before. The convent, when we returned, quickly became cleaner than it had ever been. The halls, the crypts, the murals of our saints, she had been cleaning them over and over and over. The armory was spotless, each bullet, gun, and sword in its place, lined up precisely. And my sister shone with pride.
Hey,
Her faith to the Emperor called to her, pushing her to make us even greater. For him, of course. Only him. Everything was more organized. She was meticulous, and it was perfect. One night, another one of my sisters, Agnesia, approached me, white as a sheet. Sweat covered her face as she whispered that her duties had been taken from her. Her sacred duty, for which she had done for years, had already been done. Someone had lit the candles. Every single one. That night we were ripped from our beds. In the pitch black they swept in and struck, snatching each one of my squad. Visana struck one of her attackers and was thrown against the stone wall with a cry. Sabella had two holding her thrashing arms. She grunted with frustration as we heard the rattle of chains. Agnesia was restrained quickly, and I heard her whispering prayers as she submitted. Doras hit the first intruder to try and confine her and sent them careening to the floor. But there were too many. They had the upper hand. Our struggling was for naught. Quickly, we were all dragged through the halls of our convent. Finally, the candlelight lit the faces of our captors. Our own sisters stood holding the chains between the five of us. Disgust all over each of their faces. They held the chains tight but dared not to touch us. They acted as if looking upon us would be a crime in itself. We were treated like enemies, like traitors, and my sisters cried out to their comrades, "Why? What have we done? Sisters, we are faithful. This is not the Emperor's will. We fight in his name. We act in his will. Silence, the abbess called out. It echoed off the walls and we all stopped. The rattle of chains and heavy breathing were the only sounds left. You have no right to speak of his will. You have no right to speak his name. You have no right to even think of him. You have disgraced us all. One among you has fallen, and I shall not let you drag us into the filth with you. The Inquisitor will be arriving shortly, and he will take great pleasure in finding the culprit. She signaled to the others, and we marched in silence. A quiet animosity grew as we were escorted, and every one of my squad was staring daggers into each other. We knew not what treachery had occurred, but we were all disgusted with ourselves for not seeing it. For trusting in sisters when one was a grotesque heretic. Each of us was filled with shame that we had failed. We had failed our faith and ourselves. We should have seen it. We were secluded from the rest of the convent, left in separate cells to wait for our fate, for the interrogation to begin. I looked to the other four and knew each one of us was quietly assessing the others. Vasana paced back and forth, huffing. A burning anger radiated from her. Agnesia sat in a corner of her cell. I could hear her whimpers bouncing off the walls. Sabella sat still and quiet, but watched. Doris was in the end cell. I could not see her, but I could hear a scratching noise. The trust between us shattered. We sat in silence for the rest of the night, each with our own guilt and shame, only accompanied by the scratching at the end of the hall. And I prayed. I prayed that the Emperor would show mercy to the innocent four of us. I prayed that I may remain untainted by the traitor's sin. The hollow ringing of bells ricocheted through the stone convent, until we felt the vibrations and heard the faint sound in the cells below. The dawn had broken. None of us had slept, but the scratching finally stopped when we heard doors and footsteps down the hall. The tension suddenly became heavy with fear as the steps got closer and closer. We each knew it was him. The Inquisitor had arrived to pass judgment. The doors opened with a scrape of metal against stone, and two people stepped into the dungeon. The Abbess from before, and the Inquisitor. He walked with the Abbess in silence, and as we watched him, he watched us. I felt like an animal as he inspected each of us, as if he could see our corruption on our skin like a mark. I held my head high. No one dared break the silence. He walked up and down the center. And he finally spoke, once he had assessed each of us in our cells. We know one of you has fallen, and followed corruption to defile this holy place. I must not allow that weakness to contaminate and spread. We together will root out the perversion by any means necessary. And those among you that allowed the depravity to spread will be dealt with. A cell door was unlocked, The Inquisitor's entourage entered swiftly, and Agnesia began to pray aloud. A crack sounded, and I watched her fall against the stone, hard. Yet her voice continued, whispering out a plead to her Emperor. A soldier took their boot and with all their force stomped down onto Agnesia's arm. A sickening crunch told us all that her arm was completely snapped in two. You will not speak his name. Every word you utter now is an infernal sullying on the Emperor himself. None of you will speak holy words. You are heretics until proven otherwise, he declared to us all, as Agnesia sniveled, grasping at her broken arm. He kept her in chains and took her just down the hall. There they stayed for hours. Agnesia was a strong sister, but she was the weakest out of all 5 of us. It was quiet to start. We were all left to wonder what was happening. What questions would the Inquisitor have? I knew she could not be fallen. She was weaker but more faithful than the abbess of this convent. Then, we heard a cry, muffled by the doors. It was just a small sound, but it pierced through. High-pitched and short. It was gone the next moment. Then, it started up again, and it became more frequent. Agnesia was starting to crack. Whatever they were doing behind closed doors was starting to work. She tried to hold in her pain, to not let it show. She was trained well, but it was too much. You could hear it, each shout growing louder. You could feel the frustration in her as she let her pain be known. Each scream involuntarily ripped from her body. She grew louder and louder. The high-pitched wails rung through my head as I imagined what torment she was suffering. The Inquisitor was known for taking pleasure in breaking down heretics, and it said he had a special set of tools to help. He liked to dabble in physical and mental pain, for it's easier to find the truth when all barriers are broken. And there's only so much physical torture can do. You can cut a body 1,000 times, yet never reach the mind. Her screams became huskier with the strain on her throat. I couldn't help but picture a wounded creature. Each yowl felt like a knife to my own chest. I looked at my sisters. Vasana and I locked eyes, and I could see it in her too. Reflected back at me was the same expression. She felt the pain that I did. We felt Agnesia's pain together. And then she looked down and turned away, and the connection was gone. We sat alone in our cells, listening to the cries of our sister until they turned to weak sobs. She had nothing left when they opened the doors and dropped her body like a limp doll. She was a crumpled heap on the floor, sweat-stained and covered in blood. Her breathing was shallow, and she made her body as small as it could be, curling in on herself. A weak sob left her. And seeing my sister like that, her fragile form shaking, it broke my heart. She was a valiant warrior, and now she had been reduced to this. The guard kicked Agnesia one last time, muttering about heresy and filth. He locked her back in and walked up and down the hall, looking in each cell with a grin. He was enjoying this, enjoying our fear. When he stopped outside Sabella's cell, she dared not move. He opened the door, and against her training, she shuddered away. He laughed as she backed away from him and he grabbed her. She forced her head down hard and planted it right into his skull,
honestly, I'm unsurprised
breaking
they
his nose with
used
a
AI
crunch.
identifiers
He
in the
cried out
images
at
for
the
this.
shock, and 3 more came, each grabbing onto Sabella. She fought as she was escorted down the hall to the Inquisitor. Sabella's screams were even louder than Agnesia's when she finally cracked. When Sabella's limp body was chucked back in her cell, for a moment I could see the wounds on her skin. She was littered with slices, chunks pulled out, and even strips of flesh peeled right off. Different instruments could be seen in the pattern of her cuts, and she was covered in blood. Some of it hours old, brown, crusted, and some wounds oozed red blood over the top. Visana was next. She took the longest by far. Took almost a day and a half before we heard her break. She started with small, broken cries, but eventually the Inquisitor got his way. Her voice eventually became deafening, the hysterical wailing impossible to block out. I wept for my sisters, with nothing to do but imagine their torment. Doras was the last to go down the hall. A day passed and we heard no noise. No cries. No screams. Just nothing. It was deep into the night when we heard the rattle of doors. Doras was in bad shape, worse than the others when they returned, but with a smile on her face. The Inquisitor himself stepped in and stood before us as the guards pushed Doras to her cell floor. I have found the parasite that grew in your midst. Sister Doras has fallen to the Prince of Pleasure. She has disgraced us all, and you shall all burn. Her sins are your sins, for you should have seen and stopped the chaos that corrupted her. Turning a blind eye only seals your fate. You are all guilty. Only the purity of the fires can save you now. May the Emperor smite the evil in your souls. The Inquisitor couldn't help the smile on his face, eager to carry out the execution order. You could see he hated to wait until morning. But judgment must be made a spectacle to teach the price of sin. The night went quickly, all too quickly. The silence filled with Doras' scratching. During her time in the cell, working on just a few stones, she was scratching her nails down them, scratching until they were bloody, making the jagged, dirty surface of the aged stone smooth and perfect.
You did
The
call
rest
that,
of us
Daco.
could only wait. For we knew if this is how we are to best serve the Emperor, we shall accept our fate. But the anticipation grew. Visana paced as the sun rose. Agnesia wept in her corner, and Sabella sat unmoving. I prayed until the Inquisitor came and we were escorted through our convent. Our sisters were all gathered outside the convent, our home, disgust and disdain were the only looks we faithful sisters got as we marched to the pyre in chains. When the time came and the Inquisitor read our crimes and execution sentence, we stood in silence. But the crowd became restless. They wanted to see us suffer and burn. They didn't care that we were once faithful, that most of us stood before them were innocent. We were nothing but fallen scum now. The Inquisitor himself lit the flames and watched as they leapt up the kindling to the bodies of my sisters. They began to scream, and I felt the fires start to eat at my own flesh, and I'd never felt more alive. The holy flames burned my sins away, and I heard Doris's scream loudest of all. A strangled scream rung out, and she cried, "Who betrayed me? I demand to know which of this fake sisterhood reported me to the Inquisitor. You coward! Face me before I die!" I turned to her and laughed. I, Belas, called the Inquisitor, and I would see every sister here burn in the fire than fall. You are a dissenter and a disgrace. You are nothing, and I am holy. I am pure. The Emperor will bless me when I die. The shock in her eyes had me laughing. I took a deep breath. Sweat dripped down my face with the heat of the fire. The flames rose and climbed higher on my legs as the skin sizzled. The pain was unbearable. The air now thick with smoke and the reek of burning flesh. I breathed it all in as the deafening cries of my sisters came from both sides. I called over the crowd. Espiritu Dominus, Domin libra nos. From the lightning and the tempest, our Emperor, deliver us. It took all my strength, but I screamed out, from plague, temptation, and war, our Emperor, deliver us. Agnesia, Visana, Sabella took a hold of their strength and joined with me. From the scourge of the Kraken, our Emperor, deliver us. From the blasphemy of the fallen, our Emperor, deliver us. From the begetting of demons, our Emperor, deliver us. Sisters in the crowd watching began to join us, their voices ringing out. From the curse of the mutant, our Emperor, deliver us. A morte perpetua, Domin libra nos. The voices in the crowd grew until 100 of us were reciting together. That thou wouldst bring them only death, that thou shouldst spare none, that thou shouldst pardon none. We beseech thee, destroy them. And we said the prayer, over and over and over, as Doris screamed and howled, all until the flames became too much and swallowed us into darkness.
We hope you have enjoyed this tale of the faith and fanaticism of the Adepta Sororitas. If so, then please consider liking and subscribing. If you do, then hit the notifications button, as we would not want you to miss out. If you see the worth in what we are doing, then do also consider joining our Patreon, or giving the video a share if that is beyond your present scope. It would be a great boon. Now, no matter what you do today, do try to make some time for fun. Toodaloo.
Are you not familiar with the Sisters of Battle? From Warhammer? You don't know much lore. I was kind of hoping this video would have a bit more on the lore side, but it seemed to be most of us more story. See, I'm not 100% sure on the Sisters of Battle. I'm still navigating my own way through the 40k lore, because there is a lot. There's a lot of lore. Just like I need to eventually do that book stream with the guidebook. So I don't think it covers anything about the Sister of Battle. I don't think, but where's my book? Which I don't know, maybe next week maybe I can start diving into this, since like I know the entire PC is not gonna like suddenly combust and fire and all that other shit. Do you have anything about Sisters of Battle in here? Sisters of Battle, si adeptas sororitas. Adeptas sororitas. You got the lore video, but it's 49 minutes. I mean, let me see. What time is it? 7? Hit me. Hit me with the lore video. Oh, you already sent it? I'm blind? Okay. I'd scroll past all the stuff Octavia sent. Okay. I mean, depends how you want to take it.
Understand, the Sisters of Battle.
Is that not the video I just had open? No?
Understand, the Sisters of
Yeah, it
Battle.
just links to the same video that we just watched. I'll go back to the beginning. Okay. I will trust you. I will trust you, Minnow.
Emperor's Throne. I thought I was getting an easy ride when we received our new posting. Rotated from the front to defend triage, protect the forward medical camp. Usually a cakewalk. But do not think me a coward. I don't deserve that. I have been fighting for months against things you would never even believe existed. It's one thing to see the vids, the posters, to believe the recruitment officers. Living it is different. Our lines have been smashed by the filth. What was once a stationing miles behind lines was now the last inch in our defences in this sector. The Xenos had come at us in their droves, their oceans. Their weapons were crude, but it did not matter. Their numbers were inexhaustible. They crashed against our lines across the entire sector. At first, we thought it was just a barbaric charge. Xenos are animals. But it was not. They were probing us, testing us, working out the exact damage we could inflict on them, where, when, and how. We treated it like a game then, counting numbers we had shot down and marked notches on our guns or helmets. We laughed and even called shots as challenges to each other then. Headshots
that makes
only,
sense.
gut shots only. We were so smug. Pride goeth before the fall, as they say. How things fell so quickly. From shooting fish in a barrel, we went to manically trying to keep them back. I watched as they simply rolled over Hill 435.
Hello, Jackals.
It had everything a guardsman could wish for in her defence. Razor wire, heavy weapon emplacements, ammunition like a bottomless well. We thought it impregnable. To be honest, I thought it was over the top. Holy Throne, how I was a fool then. We all were. It took less than an hour to approach and then simply swarm the hill. No matter what we threw at them, they kept on coming. As they crested the hill, I realised how we had underestimated them. So many. Their primitive projectile weapons I thought were almost pointless. But then the sky darkened. We were watching the hill. We didn't take cover, not one of us. Then they struck. Shafts of wood with metal heads. So primitive, yet when they hit in such numbers, we were decimated. So many dead in that first volley. Pierced multiple times by those simple shafts of wood, but no less lethal for being so simple. Entire ranks of us went down. We scattered into the trenches. We hid from the rain of wood and metal, but that was their goal. The rain from behind the hill made us hide while their horde ate the distance between the hill and our lines. They were on us in what felt like seconds, among us, killing us. I never thought my bayonet drill would ever be used, but it saved me time and time again. I lunged and pulled back, lunged and pulled back. Blood and viscera, their bodies and ours covering the ground, making it slippery, making it hell. And that was the first day. The first of many, many days. Months. No matter how many of them we kill, they keep coming. Don't know. I sort of respect them. We must seem like the scum here. We're invading their world. They were here first. But why doesn't matter anymore. It's us or them. And at the moment, it seems like it's going to be them. Behind this last line, our last in this sector, stands the forward medical building. Inside are every wounded soldier from this entire front. Thousands. If, when, they cross this last line, they will be in there. I dread to think, but I know what will happen. They will crash through the doors, will stream into every corridor, every ward, every bay. None will be spared. Imagine that, lying in your bed unable to move, unable to defend yourself, while these horrors rush in and kill everyone before you, knowing they will end you too. I think I am lucky. At least I will look into their eyes and it will be swift when it happens. At least I can go down fighting. It begins. Our artillery opens up from miles behind the lines. They bombard the valley. But they are fools. They should be packing up and moving. I don't know where, but they should be running. The Xenos are coming. The next half hour is like an eternity or a second. Time has no meaning in the fray. I ignore the rain from the sky, the wooden rain of death. I don't care. I stand, firing furiously, firing continuously. The repetitive action and mark of my training, not my control. I fire and fire, reload and fire again. I go through energy pack after energy pack, but it is not enough. Not nearly enough. So many of them. So few of us. I reach down to my belt, but there is nothing there. I am out. My Lasgan now nothing more than a club. I look up and down the line. So many dead. Hunched or sprawled, littering the trench like broken dolls. My friends, my company, gone. All these shafts of wood jutting out of them. The horde charges forever forward. I have a minute maybe. The noise of them is deafening. The shock of seeing I am nearly the last of my entire company still breathing. My ears deceive me. I drop my last spent cartridge and then fix bayonet. I will take one of them with me. Just one. Like a heroic vid, my rebelling mind has music playing. Voices like a choir exalting the Emperor. Ha! Well, at least I lasted until my death to go mad. I stand and prepare for death. I see a last wave of projectiles fill the skies and I drop my lasgun and open my arms as I slump to my knees. I prepare for it. I close my eyes. The music, the holy music gets louder, deafening almost, as I prepare to join the Emperor. Perhaps he welcomes me. A shadow passes over me. I hear the ricochet of metal on metal. Wooden shafts clatter to the ground around me. I open my eyes, and then I see her. Towering over me in black armour, power armour. She stood between me and death. I am alive because of her. The singing is not a dream. I snap a look from side to side and my jaw drops. Lines of them, the wood bouncing off their armour. In their hands the weapons of the Emperor himself, the holy bolter. They walk forward. They are not stopping at the trench. They are advancing into the horde. The guns shoot out and Xenos die in their droves, exploding like the Emperor himself is obliterating them. She stops firing as two of her sisters pass us. She takes off her helmet, just to speak to me. I can barely hear her over the artillery, the bolters screaming, the song of battle and praise of the Emperor that is issuing from these dark-clad women all around me. She looks down and smiles. She nods towards the hospital. I look at it while she kneels down and whispers in my ear. This will not happen unless all of us are one. He will not answer unless it is all of us. Say the words. I look. I do not understand. I see the building is dark, but there is activity inside. Singing. A beautiful song, but terrible also. An exaltation to the Emperor. She whispers again. Son of the Emperor, warrior of humanity, you know the words. Say them now. I know. They come to me. The Emperor protects. No, warrior of light. Not with your mouth. Not with your lips. Say them with your heart. Say them with your soul. Bring his power. I look down and nearly weep, so much is happening. So much is going on. But then I look up again. I look at the triage and think it harder than I have ever thought it before. As instructed, I say it with my heart, but even so, It cannot be contained. It sallies out of my mouth as a bellow. The Emperor protects! And then I see a miracle. A miracle. As if I caused it, but it cannot be me. Light blazes from every last window in the triage. It is like a bomb has gone off inside. I hear it building, what I think is a huge screaming at first. But then, as the doors open, I hear it clearer. As my injured brothers and sisters pour out of every door, every window, they charge. It is a bellow, not a scream. They are armed with las guns that seem to be glittering with light. All of them. Thousands of them, flooding out like a tidal wave to meet the Xenos. As they pass me, I am agog. Men I knew to be crippled, women I knew to be maimed. They all charge as one, healed. The sister firmly puts her arm under mine and lifts me up. She passes me an energy pack from my las gun. She smiles at me while putting her helmet back on, then nods in the direction of the Xenos, the direction her sisters are leading the army I thought destroyed. Come, warrior of light, let us not be left out. Come, let us smite the unclean for the Emperor. I snatch the energy pack and slam it home. I check my bayonet is fixed properly. Then I look back at her and I grin. For the Emperor. Then we charge. Welcome, gentle listener. I am Voldemort, and I wish to introduce you to the forces and factions of the Weimar 40k universe. So, at last, we come back to the Adepta Sororitas and the Sisters of Battle to wipe away the calumny of that disastrous prognostication that I penned what feels like an eon ago. To even introduce this faction, I feel we must look at the bigger picture today. A very big picture indeed. For few truly understand the vastness that is the Imperium, the sheer scope of it. One could take a stroll to one's garden on a cloudless night, and then look up and see the Imperium. Even with the assistance of a top-of-the-range telescope, everything one would see is the Imperium. Every twinkling light, every star, and every system that surrounds it. That is the Imperium of mankind. It is said that there are over 1 million worlds in the Imperium. Take a moment to grasp how mind-bendingly vast that is. All of it is the Imperium of man. But why do I mention this? Why do I brook this subject now? Simple. To grasp the import of the faction we are about to discuss, the faction we are about to discover together. For the uninitiated may look at the model.
Alright. I'll wait for the ads on this one. I will wait for the ads. Also, big sad. I am working Thursday. My disappointment is insurmountable. Yeah. Because apparently, I was gonna work for my boss tomorrow morning because there's a recall for a part for her car and she's gonna try and get in the shop tomorrow morning, but they wouldn't have the part in until like 2 weeks from now, so yeah. No getting off Thursday. But, you know, it does mean if I have energy later, I can do stuff in Discord. So, silver linings. Sometimes it's gotta take what you can get. It's little things. I really should take note of the fucking ad timer. Or the fucking timer before I fucking paused. But yeah, so if Space Marine it will happen on Thursday, I'm going to have to wake up early. which is kind of cheeks, but I mean, I mean, theoretically, I could technically do Space Marine before Halo tomorrow. I have to remake my thumbnails. Jail over. Neat. I'll have to think on that.
Range, the basics of their attire, and may well scoff. Nuns with guns is what is oft said. This is, of course, only ignorance. It may have been true at one point, before the faction had been developed, but now it could not be further from the truth. This is a rich and diverse faction on the tabletop, with sumptuous, splendid figures, and intriguing and interesting rules and tactics. But it is far, far more than that. They are now a fundamental part of the rich tapestry that is the grim darkness of the future, the Imperium of Man.
I do want to say, though, before I get too far before the lore gets too far going, I am still very tempted to make the nun outfit being more based on one of the Sisters of Battles. I am still so very tempted.
The recent codex has built on that which has gone before. The development of this faction from a bit of a gag to an unbelievably important and diverse, well-sculpted and fully fleshed-out organization, the Adeptus Sororitas and their chamber militant, that are the Sisters of Battle, have well and truly blossomed. For the Adeptus Sororitas is everywhere. It is interwoven into the very fabric of the Imperium, to the extent that very few arenas are free from its presence and its influence. They are a feared force on the battlefield. They're an irreplaceable factor in diplomacy. They teach the youth of the noble houses, while watching said houses for any tiny slither of apostasy or heresy. They are forerunners for the expansion of the Imperium into the very fringes of the galaxy, and they are the healers most trusted with the injured soldiery. They defend the myriad shrine worlds across the Imperium, and they bring fire and wrath to the unclean, and root out the cancer of the faithless, the mutant, the heretic, the witch. The most important thing one needs to know about the Adeptus Sororitas at large, and the Sisters of Battle in specific, is their faith. This is only an introduction to this huge organization that has tentacles in so many of the arenas of the Imperium. So it behooves me to start small and then progress to more expansive entries in the future. So, gentle listener, let us explore the very beginnings of this order. For this we will have to very briefly, criminally almost, discuss how the Imperium changed from a secular and atheistic organization into the semi-authoritarian and theocratic entity it is today. As this underpins the entire point. Faith. The Imperial Truth. For the whys of the beginnings of the Imperium, please see my entry for Rogal Dawn, or Astra Militarum, until I perform its separate entries on the Unification Wars, the Great Crusade, and the terror of the Horus Heresy. I believe this is a very good place to gain a basic understanding of the birth and formative years of the Imperium of Man. That said, let us move on. The Imperial Truth was the initial dream of the Emperor. He is often stated to have decreed that the most dangerous of all things, the biggest threat to human development and the race entire, was religion and faith. While he walked the stars and spoke with his people, the human race, he was adamant that this should be not only policy of his rule, but its very goal, the eradication of religion and superstition. This was to be hand in glove with the goal of unifying the lost civilizations of humanity across the stars, and to then defend them. His policy was also the annihilation of all Xenos cultures that might be a threat to humanity, but that would take us off point. The Imperial Truth was the firmly held theory that there were no gods, there were no spirits, demons, afterlife, reincarnation, or need for redemption. It was hocus pocus, and a dire threat to the very well-being of humanity, as all religion would do is retard humanity and have it mire itself in hatred, war, and stupidity. Science, logic, empirical data, and progress were to be the base stones on which his Imperium were to be built and then maintained. It was not. to last. When the Emperor was struck down, his body all but destroyed, his direct influence on humanity was removed. He was to exist only to continue as a figurehead and a source of power for the Astronomicon, which I will explain at another time. The Imperium was dealt an almost mortal blow by the Horus heresy, and devastation and fear were rife. Humans are simple creatures when all is boiled away. When the fear of the future became too much, small sects that had venerated the Emperor as a god began to flourish. But it was not entirely illogical either, for the Emperor, the master of mankind, had displayed capabilities, powers, and wisdom beyond anything that a normal human could emulate. The step from godlike power to being a god was a very short step indeed. Thus, over the next 2 millennia, the sects that extolled him as the living god of humanity grew in power. The misery of the age, the difficulty of everyone's existence, the struggle that all felt was almost insurmountable, made them turn to these religions in ever-increasing numbers. To synopsize a millennia or more is rough treatment of the law, but eventually one sect grew to dominate and absorb all others. The temple of the Savior Emperor became so commonplace, so powerful, so all-pervasive that in Millennium 32 it became the state religion, and the Adeptus Ministorum was formed, the Church. With that, the dreams of a secular empire were washed away. It went swiftly from being the norm to worship the Emperor to being a crime not to believe in his godhead and to be a vocal adherent to the imperial cult. As time went on, the power of the ecclesiarchy, the Adeptus Ministorum, became so much they had armed forces under their direct control, could issue censure against entire worlds and declare any a heretic and have them removed. Alas, as is always the case, power corrupts. Inevitably, a demagogue arose and attempted to wrestle power from all. For a time, he very nearly succeeded. In the 36th millennium, the galaxy was struck by a wave of warp storms. These storms halted much interstellar traffic, as had happened in the Age of Strife, but to a much lesser degree, and panic was rife. In this time, fear led many to give even more power to the Church, for prayer solves all issues to a scared human. Thus did the imperial cult gain such power that they took control of the Administorum, the administrative wing of the Imperium. The ecclesiarch, akin to a pontiff of the entire Imperium, then ran rampant. This period is now known as the Age of Apostasy. For this, I will lean on the existing lore in the newest codex, as I find I cannot even come close to matching its eloquence and brevity. To quote, "In the 36th millennium, the tyrant Gode Vandir usurped the position of both ecclesiarch and high lord of the administratum. He achieved this through a combination of bribery, coercion, blackmail, and outright murder, and in doing so managed to secure an unprecedented level of authority. Since the fall of the Emperor, no one had controlled both the sprawling bureaucracy through which the millions of worlds of the Imperium were organized, and the faith that kept humanity united against its myriad enemies. With such unparalleled powers of command, Vandir sought to bring the Imperium under his heel, giving rise to the Reign of Blood, in which countless billions died and whole planets burned. The Reign of Blood continued for decades. With each passing year, Vandir grew increasingly psychotic, and the numbers of those who were burnt in his fires climbed exponentially. At the height of his madness, a sect known as the Confederation of Light rose to prominence on the world of Dimamar, led by a then unknown man called Sebastian Thor. The sect denounced the brutal rule of Vandir and began spreading a message of hope across the Imperium, a message that was readily accepted by peoples who had long lived under the yoke of sadistic oppression. Vandir sent a force from Terra to crush the Confederation of Light and execute the upstart Thor, but shortly after its departure, the entire fleet was destroyed, torn apart by a terrifyingly powerful warp storm in an area of space still known and feared as the Storm of the Emperor's Wrath. Unchecked, the Confederation of Light was able to expand its influence, gaining support from scores of systems willing to join them in rebelling against the tyrannical High Lord. Through masterful oration, Sebastian Thor rallied millions to his cause, steadily gathering might to match the forces still loyal to Vandir. Yet deliverance only came when the Adepts of Mars, Space Marines, and Adeptus Custodes chose to side with Thor. Preparations were made to assault the ecclesiarchal palace from without, while the Adeptus Custodes would attack Vandir from behind his defensive lines. Though the combined might of the forces moving against him were considerable, Vandir was far from defenseless. Early on in the Reign of Blood, the High Lord had been informed by his extensive network of spies of a small cult of some 500 individuals based on the little-known agri-world of San Leor. Known as the Daughters of the Emperor, the members of this sect were entirely devoted to worship of the Emperor and maintaining inner purity. They studied ancient arts of war, clearing their minds of worldly considerations in order to hone their battle skills over the course of a lifetime. His interest piqued. Vandir informed the Daughters of the Emperor that he would honor them with an ecclesiarchal visit. When Vandir arrived on San Leor, he was informed by the Daughters of the Emperor that they did not recognize him as an envoy of the God Emperor, triggering a wave of fury amongst his sizable retinue. But the High Lord, at this time having not yet succumbed to the full ravages of insanity, had prepared a demonstration to prove his status. He commanded one of his guards to shoot him to show that he was shielded by the Emperor's favor. The guard shot his last pistol, and after a blinding flash of light, the Daughters of the Emperor saw clearly that Vandir remained unharmed and fell to their knees in worship. As Vandir later boasted to his scribes, he had correctly guessed that the isolated sect had no knowledge of the conversion field produced by the Rosarius he was wearing. Having sworn oaths of fealty to the High Lord, the Daughters of the Emperor were instated as the ecclesiarchal bodyguard. Their culture of purity and martial excellence was augmented by new forms of weaponry, and their dedication to the protection of Vandir became legendary throughout the Imperium. When Vandir's legitimacy as ecclesiarch was challenged, these elite soldiers were his blade of rebuttal, and when the Holy Synod of the Ministorum conspired to kill their leader, Vandir's bodyguards strode into their chamber, locked the doors, and emerged several hours later carrying the severed heads of every cardinal present. When the forces united by Sebastian Thor besieged the ecclesiarchal palace, Vandir's bodyguards were instrumental in holding the attacking forces at bay. Over several months, the outer sections of the palace were reduced to rubble, but the central complex that housed the High Lord's throne room remained an impenetrable fortress. Vandir's warriors stood firm against the brutal assault. Their unflinching faith in the Emperor and his favored servant fueled their indomitable fighting spirit. But while their efforts were focused on repelling the invaders, another force moved to conquer the ecclesiarchal palace from within. As guardians of the Emperor and the Golden Throne, the Adeptus Custodes possessed incomparable knowledge of the imperial palace, including the vast wings in which the ecclesiarchal palace was located. A small contingent of custodians worked their way through the hidden labyrinth of passageways that snaked beneath the palace, emerging not far from Vandir's audience chamber. There they were confronted by 6 warriors of the ecclesiarchal bodyguard. The leader of the custodians laid down his weapons and tried to convince Vandir's faithful that the High Lord they served was an enemy of mankind, of the Imperium, and of the Emperor himself. But the ecclesiarch servants were not swayed by these words alone. The custodians saw that only one option remained for an alliance. He entreated the women, barring his path, to follow him back through the winding tunnels so he could lead them to the most sacred place in all the galaxy, the chambers of the Golden Throne, where the Emperor sat in repose. The 6 bodyguards were to see what no one but the companions of the Adeptus Custodes and the Space Marine Primarchs had seen in 6 millennia, and were sworn to secrecy on pain of death. What the 6 saw in those chambers has never been recorded, but when they emerged, their hearts burned with anger. They returned through the tunnels to the ecclesiarchal palace, where their leader, Alicia Dominica, spoke to her order of the High Lord's fathomless corruption. Renouncing their duties as Vandir's bodyguard, the Daughters of the Emperor followed Dominica to the private hall where the ecclesiarch was bunkered. They found him busied in study, his chambers in anarchy and his scribes long fled. Seeing his supposed bodyguard there, Vandir launched into a bloodthirsty tirade, ordering them to march out and slaughter the invaders. Dominica looked upon him coldly, and with words that would one day be engraved upon the sarcophagus that holds her body, she pronounced his judgment. You have committed the ultimate heresy. Not only have you turned your back on the Emperor and stepped from his light, you have profaned his name and almost destroyed everything he has striven to build. You have perverted and twisted the path he has laid for mankind to tread. As your own decrees have seated, there can be no mercy for such a crime, no pity for such a criminal. I renounce your lordship. You walk in the darkness and cannot be allowed to live. Your sentence has been long overdue, and now it is time for you to die. Dominica lofted her power sword high for Gauge Vandir to see. With an uncompromising shake of his head, the High Lord replied to his former bodyguard that he was too busy to die. At this, Dominica brought her energy-wreathed blade down, decapitating the traitor and cleaving through the rosarius he had worn since the day he first met the daughters of the Emperor. The reign of blood died with Vandir, but the age of apostasy took many more centuries to quell. Sebastian Thor stood trial for sedition, but the purity of his intent and the hatred held for the deposed tyrant saw him not only found guiltless, but led to him being instated as the new ecclesiarch. At the behest of the other High Lords of Terra, a great number of changes to the Adeptus Ministorum were then implemented, the most radical of which was the implementation of the Decree Passive. By this edict, the ecclesiarchy was ordered to relinquish its control of its standing military forces, giving over the bulk of its armies to the Astra Militarum and its fleets to the Imperial Navy. But Sebastian Thor insisted that the daughters of the Emperor were unaffected by the decree. He knew that military might was needed to defend the faith, and so the daughters were incorporated fully into the Ministorum and renamed the Adepta Sororitas. This caused much vexation among the other High Lords, but they had no recourse to oppose the newly appointed ecclesiarch, nor the powers he still held. You see, the decree passive stated that the ecclesiarchy, the Adeptus Ministorum, could have no men under arms, and thus the Adepta Sororitas is purely women, and thus circumvents this law. End quote. Another interesting and incredibly important thing that came out of the Age of Apostasy was the Ordo Hereticus. The Inquisition already had two wings, the Ordo Xenos, which hunted and destroyed the alien and all of its vile influence, and the Ordo Malleus, who were tasked with rooting out the influence of the demonic and warp-tainted. The Ordo Hereticus was to watch the imperial cult and all of its adherents, its many churches across the entire Imperium. They were to watch for heresy, any break from the mainstream beliefs of the cult, but also to make sure that the ecclesiarchy, the Adeptus Ministorum, never overstepped its reach again. Whenever a cleric of any rank garnered themselves a military force to prosecute a crusade against heretics, mutants, or witches, they were watched like hawks. The instant the very carefully agreed parameters and goals of a crusade were met, it was the Ordo Hereticus that would then order said forces to be disbanded or absorbed back into the Departamento Munitorum, the Imperial Guard or Navy. Never again would the Church be trusted with power such as it had in the Age of Apostasy that was the doorway to the Age of Blood. Never. But why am I mentioning this? Well, gentle listener, it was at the inception of the Ordo Hereticus that the Adeptus Sororitas' militant or army contingent was sworn to be an ally of the Hereticus, to be its very own chamber militant. Should the Ordo Hereticus find heresy, befoulment by mutants or psychos, or any other uncleanness, they can call upon the Sisters of Battle. As they should, for there are few forces that are as able, well-equipped, or as steadfast as the Sisters outside of any but the Adeptus Astartes, the Space Marines. Now that we know the history and origin of the Sisters, let us now discuss what they are now, and what makes them so special. For every faction in the grim darkness of the future has its own very potent allure. Firstly, a brief understanding of their many roles. For many will think that the Adepta is just the Sisters of Battles. It is not. The Adepta Sororitas is the umbrella term for the combined orders entire. But it is not just the Sisters of Battle. For the Sororitas have as many orders, duties, and roles in civilian life as they do orders militant, who wage war. Now, I shall again lean on existing wisdom, because, well, frankly, it is so well put. To quote, "The daughters of the Emperor were more than a community of warriors, and devoted themselves to a wide range of disciplines by which they could serve the God Emperor. For many of these disciplines survived the age of apostasy, and have been further developed by the Adepta Sororitas through specialized categories of non-militant orders. Orders Dialogus. The Sisters of the Orders Dialogus serve as scholars and advisors. They are expert translators of texts both human and Xenos, holy and blasphemous, and spend years learning languages used in esoteric scripts. Much of their study is devoted to collating ancient scripts that give accounts of the God Emperor before his interment within the Holy Throne. Humans on many of the worlds rediscovered during the Great Crusade recorded the coming of the Emperor, as did those Xenos species upon whom his fury reigned. The Sister Dialogus translate these accounts, their long-forgotten language of origin, into Imperial High Gothic, and through them reveal more of the Emperor's glory. The Orders Dialogus also frequently call upon their unparalleled expertise in cryptography. Their ability to unlock obscure ciphers and find patterns across vast reams of communiques ensure that the Adepta Sororitas, as well as the Ecclesiarchy at large, have access to intelligence on their enemies, both within the Imperium and beyond. Sister Dialogus also provide many services for the Inquisition, using their skills to interpret heretical meanings hidden in seemingly mundane speech and text, and thereby bringing secretive traitors to justice. In a war zone, Sisters Dialogus act as conduits through which canonesses of militant orders can intone commands and prayers of defiance, ensuring that formations operating in isolation remain in communication with their spiritual leader. Large contingents from the Orders Dialogus also remain on a world after the enemy has been purged, assisting other ecclesiastical servants as they scour the planet for traces of heresy. The most senior sisters of the Orders Dialogus maintained the ancient texts held within the Vault of Origins. Only the highest-ranking members of the Ecclesiarchy are allowed access to this most holy archive, for it is rumored that the heaviest of secrets regarding the events of the Age of Apostasy and Vandir's Reign of Blood are locked away within it. Orders Famulus. The Orders Famulus form a network of chambers, advisors and diplomats whose sacred duty is to guide the Imperium's noble families in working towards the ultimate good of mankind. Sisters of these orders play a crucial role in brokering trading agreements between obstinate planetary governors, forging alliances between powerful plutocratic families, and arranging marriages to continue the lineages of the Emperor's most loyal and useful subjects. When a planet, system or subsector is faced with direct hostilities, the Sisters Famulus coordinate the efforts of those over whom they have oversight, ensuring that a noble household has everything they require to effectively fight and die for the Imperium. Concomitant to their diplomatic duties, the Orders Famulus also provide the Ecclesiarchy with watchful eyes throughout the Imperium. A Sister Famulus's presence among the upper echelons of society allows her to closely observe the dealings of the most influential individuals, from appointed bureaucrats and strong-armed tyrants to rogue traders and novice nobility dignitaries. Should the activities of these powerful people in any way go against the dictates of the Adeptus Ministorum, the Sister's reports to her superiors may result in stringent countermeasures. Confessors may be sent to extract admissions of heresy, and in extreme cases the Order's militant are alerted to cases of widespread treachery. Families who have held aloft positions for generations have been eradicated in their entirety, their crypts incinerated and their names stricken from all records on the word of a Sister Famulus. Shepherding the nobility in this way is crucial to preserving the sanctity of the Imperium, and those who attempt to hide from the sight of the Ordo Famulus are seen as opponents of the Imperial Creed. In the course of their duties, Sisters Famulus often speak of how the Emperor manifests his will through his subjects, pointing to the miracles performed by the Imperium's many saints as evidence. Given that the Orders Famulus have access to the genealogical records of uncounted millions of Imperial citizens, and that they actively encourage diplomatic and familial unions between the most faithful members of the Imperial Society, it is unsurprising that their hand is often to be seen at work before, during, and after a manifestation of the Emperor's grace is recorded. Very much like the Bene Gesserit sisterhood, one might think. But why not? Sorry, sideline over. Orders Hospitaller. With the exception of the Adeptus Astartes chapters, the Orders Hospitaller provides surgeons, physicians, and nurses to all arms of the Imperial military. Sisters of these orders exhibit their faith by operating in grueling battlefield conditions, sawing off and cauterizing limbs that have been mangled by blasts of warp energy and digging living munitions from the guts of screaming soldiers. They perform these acts with an air of solemnity and compassion, and are often regarded as holy figures by the combatants under their care. Indeed, many Sisters Hospitaller have been canonized as saints posthumously for their miraculous skills. Sisters of the Orders Hospitaller can be found accompanying many branches of the Imperium's military, from Astra Militarum regiments to the personal armies of Inquisitors, as well as serving alongside the sororitas of the Orders Militant. They are renowned for their skills both on and off the battlefield, and often deploy to war zones where new and grotesque weapons are being brought to bear against the Imperium's warriors. The sanctuaries of the Orders Hospitaller contain massive libraries detailing the most esoteric tools of death that mankind has encountered, accompanied by the extensive journals of sisters who have spent their lives researching how best to ameliorate their devastating effects. Some orders operate alongside the Ordo Sepulchrum in studying weaponized plagues, be they biological, technological, or demonical in origin, whereas others work to develop protections against psychic assaults. The Orders Hospitaller have been known to work in close conjunction with the Orders Famulus, mapping bloodlines and genealogy in order to stem the spread of mutation, combating the threat that aberrant evolution poses to humanity. Just as they study the effects of enemy weaponry on human soldiers, so too do the Orders Hospitaller dedicate themselves to understanding the physiology of their enemies. Where previously unknown Xenos species are encountered, the Sisters Hospitaller work tirelessly to find weak spots in their biology. Ecclesiastical confessors who rely on the expertise of these sisters to preserve the lives of those who are being questioned for heresy. It is not uncommon for a Sister Hospitaller to reattach limbs or suture mortal wounds multiple times before a confessor is able to extract the truth from a suspected heretic. There are many other types of orders that provide ancillary services within the Adeptus Sororitas, as well as for the Ecclesiarchy and the wider Imperium. In some cases, a single order is tasked with a particular focused duty and given their own designation, as is the case with the Order Fenestras, who maintain the illuminated armor-glass panes of the Imperium's most holy shrines and cathedrals. Other types of orders carry out sacred duties that give them a great deal of influence within the God Emperor's domain. The Orders Sabine operate at the very edges of human space, accompanying the Ministerius Galaxia to newly rediscovered human worlds. They specialize in infiltrating the regressed and primitive societies that it is believed oppose the arrival of the Imperium. Sister Sabine set themselves up as prophets of the Emperor, preaching the Imperial Creed in secret or fomenting revolt against the religious leaders of a world. When the Missionarius Galaxia arrives and announces their presence to the world's peoples, the Sisters Sabine have already prophesied such an event, and they lead those natives sympathetic to the imperial cult in a sudden and deadly coup against their leaders. Through her work, a Sister Sabine is often cut off from the Imperium for a great many years, perhaps only returning to Terra or Ophelia 7, once in her lifetime. The Orders Pronatus specialize in retrieving, guarding, studying, and repairing artifacts of value to the Ecclesiarchy. This includes the uncounted thousands of holy relics revered by the peoples of the Imperium, as well as items captured by the forces of the Imperium that are considered too powerful or significant to be allowed to fall into enemy hands. Sisters Pronatus have the responsibility of maintaining and blessing the many banners and symbols of the Order Militant, and have even been called upon to reconstruct the livery of other Imperial bodies. It was members of the Orders Pronatus who repaired the chapter banner of the Lamenters, after their involvement in the Badab War, and they have also restored many of the Cadian regimental standards that were recovered after the 13th Black Crusade, cleansing every fibre in holy oil and recording the names of martyrs in golden thread. End quote. As you can see, the Adepta are nearly all pervasive in the Imperium. Now that we know the distinction and the multiple roles within the Adepta, let us get to the meat of the matter, that which we are all really here to understand, the Sisters of Battle. Akin to chapters of Space Marines, the Sisters have many orders. Just to list them now. Orders Majores, larger orders. The Order of our Martyred Lady, the Order of the Valorous Heart, the Order of the Bloody Rose, the Order of the Ebon Chalice, the Order of the Argent Shroud, the Order of the Sacred Rose. But there are also orders minores. Smaller, the Order of the Glowing Chalice, the Order of the Thorn, the Order of the Iron Veil, the Order of the Ashen Shrine, the Order of the Wounded Heart, and lastly, the Order of the Golden Light. But thankfully, we are also able to create our own orders. As with so much of this phenomenal hobby, you may truly spread your creative wings should you have the desire. As long as your order adheres to rules of one of the existing orders, you can do what thou wilt with your own background. Magnificent. Just don't expect to have any accolades thrown your way if you try to invent rules and then attend a tournament. This will simply not stand. One day I shall perform entries for these mighty and magnificent orders, but that is not for today, as this is only an introduction. But what exactly is a Sister of Battle? Well, let me tell you, gentle listener. There are schools, academies, across the entire Imperium called the Schola Progenium. They are vast centers of training and excellence, where the very best of humanity are taken to be trained, molded, and equipped for very specific duties. From the Schola Progenium comes every officer of the Astra Militarum or the Navy, every priest, and every commissar. To say that this training is hard is to do it little justice, for those that are skilled in diplomacy or tuition are eventually sent to perform roles in the non-militant orders, but those who are of unshakable faith, who show a rugged nature and a natural preponderance to combat, are then taken and trained further. For they will be permitted to join the holy orders of the Sisters of Battle, if they are brave enough, if they are strong enough, if they are filled with the light of the Emperor's Creed and display enough faith. But again, please, do not think nuns with guns. Do not. Think more of an army of Sarah Connors, a force of Joan of Arcs, a battalion of Black Widows and Boudicas. They are everything a warrior should be. They are untouchable in close combat, more accurate than any sniper, and as driven as any commissar. They are lethality given mortal form. In all of the Imperium, only the Adeptus Astartes, the Space Marines, with all of their augmentations and almost superhuman enhancements, only they are more lethal than the Sisters of Battle. But even they cannot ignore the conviction that is carried in the hearts of the Sisters. The Sisters are also armed with the finest weapons the Imperium can produce, though not the match of the Space Marine power armor, for they do not have the black carapace or transhuman sinews of the Marine. They are almost impregnable to small arms fire and melee weapons, unless it is to be those wielded by the most powerful of all adversaries. But more than anything, even than these things, their training, their panoply of war, the Sisters have one distinct advantage over nearly any other formation that the Imperium deploys in the field: their faith. The faith of the Sisters is such that they can call down the protection of the God Emperor himself. Also, they can call down his wrath. Miracles are their stock in trade. The impossible happens across any theatre of war which they deign to grace. Missiles slam ineffectively against shimmering shields of pure light. Soldiers who were left dying in the dirt find themselves healed and energized and filled with an unquenchable holy wrath. But these are not psychic powers. No channeling over the warp, no. If the warp is used, it is wielded by the God Emperor of mankind. He merely hears their prayers. For the sisters do not suffer a witch to live. In this, they are allies to the Black Templars and the clenched fist of the Ordo Hereticus of the Holy Inquisition. They will never be bowed, no matter how bloodied their enemy may think they are. They wield the Holy Bolter. Of course, it is not the match or the size or the penetrating power of the larger bolter used by their Space Marines, but even though it is smaller, it is lethal. I honestly could go on for hours, days even, on the majesty of this faction, this glorious gathering of female warriors, but I must let you return to your lives. But know that we shall see much, much more of the sisters on this channel, for theirs is a story that must be told, in detail, in depth, as time goes by. As I leave you, I must say but one last thing. Whenever the Sisters of Battle are deployed, wherever they hear the call, they bring with them the blessing of the Emperor, and thus is made true the most oft-repeated line in all of the Imperium's forces. When the sisters take the field, the prayer is made reality. The Emperor protects. I have been Voldemort, your faithful servant. If you enjoyed my introduction to the Sisters of Battle, then do please consider liking and subscribing. If you are a regular gentle listener and see the worth in what we are doing, then do please consider supporting us on Patreon.
Okay, that was more than I was expecting. That was a lot more than what I was expecting for the Sisters of Battle. You're on fire since you also play Black Legion. I mean, yeah. I'm not too familiar with Black Legion though, so grain of salt. He didn't mention how they are deployed into battle. Well, enlighten us then. If it's the best part, do tell. They drop in on a weaponized cathedral? What? No. No, you're lying. There ain't no fucking way. That's... No, dang it. No, there might be some truth there, because you guys lied to me about the Felonins. And the word gullible is also potentially on the ceiling. Even though I'm pretty sure it's idiot up there, but you know. Usually tank fortress or giant bot. Man.